이 시간에 한 대 피워두지 않으면 나중에 태울 틈이 나지 않더군. 그림자에 제대로 차려진 짐승들을 불러들일 생각이 아니라면 밤 공기는 깨끗한 편이 좋을 테니까.
Hi! If you see this, that means I still cannot stream. That's pretty sad. Anyway, oh right, I forgot to claim my mirror dungeon. I also forgot to claim my achievements. It's not much, but it's something. I will go try to... Well, I don't mind not getting Yisang, because I'm here for Sinclair. Oh my gosh, it really is just Uma Yisang. Okay. I am not expecting anything. So, I'm gonna close my eyes and let's go. Oh wait. Now I close my eyes. Okay, I can hear it. I don't know. Okay, it's nothing. It's fine, it's fine. I just want Sinclair. So, event! Spring cultivation! Let's go. Okay. Oh, there's event bonus units? Oh. Wow, I do not own any of them! I don't own Ishmael. Oh my gosh. Wait, hold on. Maybe I'll do one for Ishmael. Just one. Just one. I doubt I'll get anything. Yep, I was right. At least I got, I can buy her. Never mind, I cannot. I cannot.
이 시간에
Oh, what do I do? Do I use it? I guess I have to. Okay, now I can get Ishmael. I'll just borrow Yisang from someone.
끝.
Hi, Ishmael. Where's my story team? I still haven't changed this from Walpurgis. So that's my bad.
잔치상에는 곱빼기도 안 비치더니 제목 한번 쳐보러 난양호에 모이셨군요.
I'm not gonna read through the story. Sorry, Ishmael. But it is not your time. Your time has long passed. I usually only read uptie stories of those I really like Roshu, or those that are in the banner. Like the new one, the newest one in the banner. Okay, gonna quickly change my team. This is probably the most fucked up team, but who cares? Okay, let's start! The family hierarchs proof. The hall was chill with a tense air, and those present all sat in complete silence. Then there was Jia Wan-chun, with her lips slightly curled into a mirthless sneer. And at the center of it all sat Jia Shichin, unsure of what to say next. Well, everyone. Jia Wan-chun, seated next to the hierarch seat upon which Shichin sat, smoothly takes control of the situation and begins the assembly. Honored heads of houses, lords of each family, their proxies, members, and... She nods slightly, acknowledging our awkward presence. And little Shichin's guests, who stay here at our H Corp seems to be extending without a foreseeable end.
Isn't she technically from Q Corp? What's up with her acting like she's any less of an outsider than we are? Yeah, and did everyone catch that? Our H Corp? Regardless of everything else, the fact that she hijacked the meeting from the get-go is ridiculous, especially with Jeshi Chun, the family hierarch herself, presiding over this official assembly. Clearly, she's just using the pretense of assisting the hierarch to assert her own dominance over these proceedings.
As we are all aware, the venerable former Jamu has always discussed with and confided in me about the matters of the greatest import, the momentousness of which steered the very course of H Corp's prospects. Even after he departed the family for Q Corp, venerable former Jamu has always written missives to confer such matters with me. Something about it smelled suspicious, but we'd already missed the window to challenge her to present us with proof without breaking decorum. Thus, as it naturally follows that I would be the inheritor of the venerable Jamu's will, I shall be presiding over this regular assembly, which we convene now to discuss and determine the future of H Corp. What a grandiose and self-important introduction. It seemed clear to me that she considered herself to be the main character of this scene, or something.
Your Grace certainly befits your station, Lady Wenshun.
We are all impressed by your utmost dedication to the citizenry of Hongwan, despite your already saturated schedule.
We can hardly thank you enough for your magnanimity, Lady Yuan-Chin. Ah, my parents. A true shame they couldn't be here. Have always sung praises of your expertise, Lady Yuan-Chin.
Hi, it's you! You're back!
Responses from the participants are just as protracted, only obsequious instead of arrogant. As heads of some of those houses were under investigation for consorting with the forces foreign to Hongwan, their vacuum was filled by their children's generation, many of whom we had the pleasure of meeting during the family hierarchy. Very well, then shall we welcome Jeshi-Chun, the next person to sit upon the seat of Hongwan's family hierarch? Greetings, I am... Now, let us begin. For many years, all those who have gathered here have toiled day and night for the eternal prosperity and growth of H Corp.
You didn't let her finish.
Jeshi-Chun's expression immediately sours as Yuan-Chin unceremoniously cuts off her self-introduction. First on the agenda for this assembly are urgent discussions and passage of new major policy items that have been tabled for far too long. Distributive contribution rights auctioning policy, quarterly amnesty policy. Hold on, big sister Yuan-Chin.
Words, oh my gosh.
Passing the distributive contribution rights auctioning policy would allow the open auction for any remaining rooms the day before reconstruction days. And, the quarterly amnesty wouldn't do anything but give unfair advantage to certain families and high net worth individuals by guaranteeing them large real estate assignments regardless of their performance in the previous quarter. Jeshi-Chun stutters a little, flustered before continuing. My point is, these policies are going to rattle H Corp's economy the moment they go into effect. Besides, these policies were pretty much drawn to favor lining the pockets of a select few families and high-ranking officials of H Corp.
If I may, venerable hierarch, lining the pockets? That is quite an odd turn of phrase to refer to the bare minimum of respect the society might repay to its highest contributing members, don't you think?
Oh, before we continue, Shi-Jin, I'm not entirely certain if you are aware, but ever since the ascension of the new family hierarch, the perceived value of Hongwan has been racing to for the lack of better word, rock bottom. Clearly, this demonstrates Hongwan's concern and its lack of faith in the newly appointed family hierarch. Therefore, it naturally follows that our most urgent task at hand is to put a stop to this value and reputation freefall and restore prosperity and greatness to Hongwan once again. Yeah, okay, and that's the family hierarch's job, right? Why are you... If you had perused H Corp's articles of association, you would have known that, should H Corp be deemed to be in a state of crisis, the four great houses and the board of directors' voice may also carry de facto power in the assembly. And the board of directors, that's us, has determined that we are now in a state of crisis.
State of crisis? What crisis? Everything that led to my ascension to the family hierarchy was legitimate, down to the final approval.
These unseemly rumors and slander are tanking our value, which we have built up assiduously through years upon years of toil. So what is this, if not a state of crisis? And who wouldn't doubt the new family hierarch's qualities when this decline has coincided precisely with her ascension? Jiawan-chan was somehow turning the room against Shi-chun without presenting a single shred of evidence, portraying her as some burdensome hierarch who was single-handedly tanking H Corp's value. No one in the assembly, not a single representative from any families present, stepped up to point out how Jia Shi-chun's swift actions were what finally repelled the outside forces that had marched right up to Hongwan's front yard. Or how she deftly maneuvered her forces to quell the Empress of War by quickly taking control of the chaos within Naglanyan. She hadn't shown any glaring signs of incompetence since her ascension despite her relative inexperience, but... Everyone in Hongwan's board of directors, the heads of each family, averted their eyes as though all of that had somehow, inconceivably slipped their minds. So you take yourself to be a qualified individual for that responsibility, Shi-chun. Very well, then proceed. We're all waiting for you to begin your briefing before the assembly regarding the last 30 years' quarterly net revenue records for Hongwan singularity-related businesses, your calculations on next year's fiscal debt forecast, and the exact recipe and variation numbers for the boluses that have been registered in the last 5 years.
That's...
The Venerable Hierarch has not received that data prior to the meeting. You must all be aware of the chaos that followed the ascension. We're all indexing all available materials too.
Isn't that funny? Not once in the history of Hongwan has the family hierarch ever failed to provide immediate and detailed answers regarding Hongwan's historical statistics. Jiawan-chan must have known all along too. She must have known how the previous family hierarchs were all directly supplied with an immense repository of information through the Shahuang worm or something of the equivalent. And she's using it to target Shi-chun's weakness, knowingly asking questions she, the first family hierarch without the Anamna worm, couldn't possibly answer. The responsibilities tied to the venerable seat of the hierarch Jiamu are matched only by the great power bestowed upon it. Thus, how are we to leave the matters of the wing to someone who is so evidently unprepared for the task? Given the present circumstances, our hands may be forced to call to vote in the motion of no confidence. The motion of no confidence? A motion of no confidence, when passed by the high-ranking political officials, can result in the removal of the chief executive from office. So they're going after Shi-chun's power.
So this is the picture Jiawan-chan wanted to paint. Impotent family hierarch stammering and stumbling through her first meeting to the total and near unanimous lack of support from the H Corp board of directors. Whatever jargon they're on about, seems to me they've got not an ounce of respect for the last or us. Never trust twats overly obsessed with numbers and optimizations. They'll be the first ones to kick you out the moment they no longer see us useful.
You're not the only one who's pissed off. So can you please stop shaking your leg for a second? Don't need to make our frustration any more obvious, you know.
My arse would have left the chair long ago if it weren't for this lass.
In H Corp, should the board of directors unanimously vote in favor of the motion, certain parts of the family hierarch's powers will be removed. It is entirely possible that she will become a hierarch in name only.
Oh, so they're threatening to fire her use unless she falls in line. This is some needlessly convoluted way to...
The assembly will now consider the motion of no confidence. Are there any objections to bringing the motion of no confidence against family hierarch Jia Shi-chun to the floor?
Hold on! The vote of no confidence isn't an item you can invoke so lightly.
The Shi family has no objections.
Let's say the Wang family has no objections either. She family too.
What? Okay, fine. The rest of the previous family heads seem to have changed precisely nothing. Those in power wore more youthful faces, but their tongues still carried the same old resistance to change. The new family heads were just as uncooperative as ever, and everyone seemed to be solely interested in staying in Jia Yuanqin's good graces. New faces, same old. And needless to say, Heathcliff wasn't the only sinner fuming with rage. "'Tis far too vexing to simply watch and do not! Right? I knew you wouldn't let this slide, Don Quixote. They're walking all over Shichun like she's not even here. Forsooth, we cannot let such injustice transpire unabated." Hey, seems like we're both on the same page. That's it. I'm not going to hesitate to make myself heard again. This time, I want to be courageous. With your help, Don Quixote. Come on, let's do this together, okay? Very well. I am in agreement. Yeah, then let's go on 3 at the same time. If there are no objections, 1, 2, the assembly will put this resolution to vote in a month, and 3. Objection! Okay. I cannot yell. Bloody hell! Oi, have you gone mental? Sinclair stood tall at the center of the room's undivided astonishment. Alone? Huh? Don Quixote! She is proud of him! Don Quixote, still firmly in her seat, gazed upon Sinclair's proud stand and rubbed her nose. Young Sinclair, thou hast evolved indeed. What an unmitigated pursuer of justice thou hast become, with such unrelenting fervor and utter disregard for decorum. Certainly, mine efforts have finally borne fruit. What the hell? Did Don Quixote or Heathcliff suddenly rub off on you or something? No, wait, no! Well, what happened there, Don Quixote? What happened to objecting together? Huh? I had taken thy suggestion to mean that we must voice our dissatisfaction through the official channels borrowing the titles of the illustrious Red Gaze and the Department of LCC. Disputes in succession of power on such a high level of government are hardly ever resolved with rash grandstanding. Wouldst thou not agree? Why are you normal all of a sudden? Lad, what just happened? What happened to the clammy meek boy? He's finally getting character development! Ow, I hit my arm! Well, that's... I guess I just assumed that this is how Limbus Company rolls now. There seems to have been an unexpected outburst from Chichin's guests. Withdraw your objection, and we will consider this a momentarily loss of control and not enter it as an official statement. It was, Sinclair's eyes were shaking like someone with his life on the line. If not, I take it that you have full confidence in her abilities. So please, I encourage you to elaborate. When and how will Sichin demonstrate her aptitude for the responsibilities of the family hierarch? His voice continues to shrivel into a corner. He can't, and how could anyone? How could anyone, when Ollie had a very clear view of her path to ascension? During the family hierarch evaluation, Jia Valyu donated the coins he received from Jia Chu to you. Essentially, you pity-partied your way to victory. Pity-partied? And for your ascension, Jia Chu and those outsiders from an upstart company had to, almost literally, carry you to the seat. Has there even been a single victory attained by your own hands in that entire process? But we have not been witnesses to the qualities she exhibited during the family hierarch evaluation and her own ascension? You must have no shame, sneaking your forked tongue in the audience of both heaven and earth like an unwitting buffoon. That's unquiet. Even footsteps broke through Jia Yuanqin's merciless dismantling of Jia Shiqin.
Hi, Zigong. Yet I see the point. The hierarch with her grace needs only demonstrate her already established qualifications before all. This is no place for an outsider to speak, but proceed. Just how will she prove herself before us? What an odd statement, coming from a fellow outsider who's been chattering for minutes on end. Forgive me, I could only presume from your verbosity that the right to speak in this forum was open to all outsiders. You have said it yourself, no? That the vote on the no confidence resolution will proceed in a month. That seems to give the venerable hierarch a month to regain the trust of each family. What? It is rather clear to me that there are many who find their own defeat in the family hierarchy difficult to accept. Such a doubt is easily resolved. A match between clans should lay out the results quite obviously. Very well. A fair challenge between clans. Which would preclude the participation of the family hierarch's Heisho and the Jialan guards. So you would remove her Pao and Du before the game even begins? Why not make this test a series of sparring matches in both academia and martial arts, if such is the case? Huh, what audacity. Do you truly have that much faith in Jia Shichun's abilities? You must know the consequences of failing these matches, no? It would be a unanimous, one-sided vote to the vote of no confidence. And naturally, any and all rights appertaining to the family hierarch shall be transferred to the board of directors. That is fine by us. You are free to choose any champion whom you see fit. Unfortunately, your underlings don't seem to share your inflated confidence. But in the midst of the confused, flabbergasted silence from the other sinners, a clear, carefree, yet defiant voice rings out. Honglu's retort. That's not true at all, big sister Yanchun. You actually have just as much confidence in Shichun as she does. His wide eyes stare directly and unblinkingly into Jia Wenqin's. It occurred to me that this might be his way of expressing anger. Really? Impudent child. How dare he stare me down like that? Then you are welcome to try. 1 month. You have but 1 month to prove before all in audience that she is, indeed, fit to be the family hierarch. Should you fail, the bone may as well be a mere formality. In other words, should she successfully prove herself, none of you shall again rightly challenge the independent rights and powers bestowed upon the family hierarch. The consequences of such recalcitrance would be no different from those that the traitors are facing. Wouldn't you agree? Well then, we will excuse ourselves now. Wait, I'm... Zigong turns around towards us with that same mysterious smile and slowly directs us outside the assembly hall. We may call them sparring matches, but you must know that each and every one of them is a test to prove your claim to the seat of the family hierarch. A month is a time far too brief for drastic improvement, regardless of for whom it may be. Learning from a proper master for 10 months straight might teach you a few things, but who knows how long the search for one such master might take, not to mention the official channels through you, which you must bring them past Daguanyan's walls, which may take up to 2 months. Why not relent now and relinquish but a part of your powers as the family hierarch to the board of directors? It seems that this fellow outsider's mental faculties are impressively lacking. My lord has spoken in the past that when in the presence of 3 people, at least one of them is bound to be a teacher of mine. And here they are, aren't they? Jia Shichun's masters, each carrying something new to teach her. All 13 of them. Zigong gestured confidently toward the flabbergasted sinners, and the assembly came to an end. Okay. Oh no, we're gonna be bad teachers, huh? Oh, 12 teachers. Wait, how will Dante communicate then? How? But Dante can't... What? Okay. I'm kind of scared by the ominous black
Loading screen? Ah! We were planning to train Jashichun anyway, but it seems that we are now under an unexpected deadline.
Hey, when you said the LCB was going to help me out, did you guys mean that you were going to publicly humiliate the crap out of me at the assembly? Of course not, Sichin. Big sister Yachin's an old snake. You've given her 30 days to set the perfect stage for my downfall, to prove the world once and for all that I'm not qualified at all to be the family hierarch. But Sichin, weren't you always so good at humbling anyone who dare underestimated you? Not so much anymore. Back then, like an idiot, I thought I just had to hold on with everything I had. I thought that's all I ever had to do. But now... Now... things are different. It's true that I'm vastly underqualified to be the family hierarch, and she's right. I pretty much lucked into this position. Shichun, don't tell me that woman's bullshit actually got to you. Well, she wasn't completely wrong, right? I'm just some kid who happened to be just good enough to survive some traps and ambushes. I'm afraid that the responsibility of a family hierarch might be too much.
Her self-confidence has significantly decreased compared to the observation from our previous interaction.
The heck, Sichin? I don't remember you being this kind of character. What happened to the girl who looked down on us the moment we met? You even had the audacity to pretend to not know who we were, didn't ya? Where'd all that confidence go, girl? What is with this valley girl? Ah! Anyway, that actually got under her skin back then, huh? So, Shichin, what do you want to do? Are you sure you're okay with this? Are you okay with letting this happen? If I let it happen, Big Sister Yuan Chin's gonna continue expanding her influence here. I'm sure she and the board of directors have been cozying up to each other for a long time.
Is the implication that her testaments on her influence were true?
Yep, it's true. Before she left for Q Corp, Big Sister Yuan Chin used to always accompany Jiamu to these assemblies. If you just let them hold the vote of no confidence, they're going to unanimously vote against me and slowly reduce the family hierarch's scope of power. And who knows, they might even call for a re-evaluation, however unlikely that sounds. Besides, Big Sister Wanchin, I think her definition of Hongwan's prosperity might be different from mine. What she's looking for isn't H-Corp's prosperity, it's Deng Guanyan's. And I know that this has something to do with its ties to Q Corp, which I bet has already been going on for a while just under my radar. I'm sure they've already had plenty of talks behind my back. Which is not the kind of vision you have for Hongwan's future, right? And that's why you spoke up against her. My vision for Hongwan is... I want to change H-Corp to be the kind of place where people can live without fear. I just never imagined I'd have to prove myself like this, and in only 30 days. Even then, your vision can't change. Your vision hasn't changed, right? It hasn't. Great, great. So it's decided then, huh? We just need Fao to deliver the bad news to Sod.
So, to summarize, the responsibility of training Shichin to win these matches, I mean these amorphous tests, upon which hinges the family hierarch's fate, and almost every facet of which is entirely under Jia Wenchen's control, by the way, and is probably a trap within the next 30 days is ours. And we have to explain that to Sod.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of work when you put it like that. Post-mortem reports have become quite rote. Sometime later. Prithee, thou must impress upon the illustrious red gaze that 'twasn't mine idea this time.
Oh no, Sinclair! Sinclair stared blankly at Don Quixote as she made her desperate plea towards Sod.
Yes, and I understand that as well, for the 8th time.
As always, Sod was wearing the same refreshingly incomprehensible smile, haha, the kind of smile that makes people increasingly anxious the longer it lasts.
Well, that gives us about 30 days, during which the sparring matches, tests, whatever, will be happening as well. Great! Then let's give it our best. Sinclair mutters in a near whisper, clearly feeling responsible for what happened. Yes, I understand. I never should have stepped out of line like that, but something just... Yeah, so let's give it our best. I totally agree! We messed everything up again and... What? Limbus Company was always going to remain here and assist Miss Jiaxichin to acclimatize herself to the responsibilities of the family hierarch. It was always a part of our plan. Huh? She's not mad? Also, I apologize if I'm doing the voices wrong. I do not remember how to do their voices at all. That's my bad. Well, I sure am glad that I took false advice about how meticulous planning is completely pointless when it comes to LCB's missions. I never would have I never would have had to submit 9 separate disciplinary incident reports back during the J-Corp incident, had I known. I believe I should be able to explain this further. Prior to his departure, my lord was concerned that such a thing would come to pass. That is why he has left Zilu and I here to look after the new family hierarch's position, which must still be on rather thin ice. Oh, so that's what they were privately talking about when he pulled them aside. Doing nothing and allowing her wicked machinations to progress would have irrevocably made the entire board of directors not but putty in Yuan Qin's hands. And that would have led that snake to de facto assume the seat of the family hierarch. Against such an insidious foe who wields intrigue as her weapon, the most viable strategy is the most direct one, to challenge her head-on. Besides, has this not given you the excuse you needed to prolong your company's stay in Dangguanyuan? This is also a prime opportunity for Jiaxichin to further solidify her influence here, depending on the outcome of the vote of no confidence. They have played right into our hands by accepting this deal.
So, I don't want to rain on everyone's parade, but are we not even going to consider what might happen if we fail?
No, we are not, because you will not fail, not with us aiding your efforts.
Also, were you serious back there when you said that we were all going to teach Jiaxichin? All 12 of us? I won't object to selecting only a few of us with better aptitude to be educators. Why am I having a hard time talking today? By the way, we already have an established internal hierarchy based on the sum of each of our abilities. Of course, the results weren't entirely to my satisfaction due to an unexpected incident. Miss Otis, that is a statement mired in narrow vision rifled with factual refractions. I am of the stance that the qualities of a good teacher are defined not by such statistics.
So you must be the one who placed last in that scale.
Just don't say anything, bud. That's not to stand out like a sore thumb. I may have overreacted then.
My lord has said that from the virtuous we may learn to replicate their merits, from the flawed we may learn to avoid their failings. As long as the student is willing to learn, anyone, anything can be a teacher. I also, to embrace this teaching, seek from all those who we come across. Just what in the heavens are you doing? Aha! I am preparing a lesson plan for young Shichin, our family hierarch. Wow, you sure got on that fast. So what are these yellow wormy things here? Aha! Tis a star, twinkle twinkling in its radiance.
According to the schedule you have prepared, the student who would have -3 hours available for sleep. This lessons plan's execution would require cooperation from T-Corp.
Yeah! 'Twould be mistaken most fatal indeed. I shall correct it post-haste.
Zigang was staring at Don Quixote's expression of her wild artistic merit upon the curriculum with her usual crescent moon eyes. Wait, is that supposed to be Zigang's grimace? Of course, each to their own, I suppose. I need not to be shaken by every little thing until we have their actual lessons planned
their lessons plan. What? I cannot read! Their actual lesson plans in hand. Hey, thanks for putting your faith in us, Zigong. We barely have any of that to go around ourselves, so I understand it couldn't have been easy. You could say that I have learned my lesson. The recent events have taught me that the path of learning is truly one without end.
I am trying my best here. Holy shit.
Another student. Alright, time to join us, Sinclair. I see that y'all have individually worked on your lessons plans as per Zigong's request.
Oh, it's Zilu. Okay, my bad. Wrong voice. Oh!
Hi, you're so pretty! Oh my gosh, and that funny clip? That is so adorable! You're so pretty, holy crap!
Oh wait, I didn't read.
I have received a total of 12 lesson plans.
Hold on, shouldn't there be 13 of them? Even the executive manager has decided to spare their precious time to teach a class.
Huh, yeah. I handed in my lesson plan too. That is because...
So who didn't do their homework?
After a brief silence, everyone turned around and looked at one of the sinners.
What? It ain't me. Oh, what? Oh, please, at least try to make a compelling argument. Who else other than you could it possibly... It's me.
You think? You've been acting out of character a lot recently. What's going on?
Well, that's,
Sinclair was drenched in sweat for some reason. Actually, in Sinclair's seat was a large stack of papers, each filled to the brim with writing. Sinclair, are these papers...
yeah, I'm done.
Sorry, I got too into making a lesson plan and couldn't just stop myself from writing. Sinclair couldn't have appeared more proud as he placed that big bundle of sweat-soaked papers in Zilu's hands. And she receives it with mild trepidation.
You seem to have dedicated quite the momentous effort in drawing up this lesson plan.
What's up with her?
Let's start reviewing from the first of the stack. 108 analytical approaches to what does a... Oh, it's A! It's A! To aesthetes AAA. What does AAA mean? And how do you plan to explore all 108 approaches in a month? Appreciation of artistry and assassinations. Where's Rashu? She should be here and proud of him! Let's go, Sinclair character development. Oh, much needed. Chef's kiss. Wah, wah, wah. Shit. Hi, my lady. Hi. The silence is quite deafening, ain't it? F you. Went too far. Right. Sorry. Flip a page and continue reading for those 108 approaches. What paint did you use? Whoa, height difference! I just realized that. Whoa! It's quite viscous, and the paper has partially melted. Oh, lady, watch yourself. You almost got some on my arm. Uh-huh. A painting. Zilu? Entrails coating the world. Huh. Yes! This is what I needed! Yes! Oh, Sinclair Yoshu interaction. I love it. Now you know. Voice. Now you know how aesthetes appreciate the artistry of slaughter. Just what the hell did you paint in that paper? Hey, get it together!
Zilu stumbled briefly. Whatever was on the paper must have given her quite the shock. Ah, my mind wandered for a moment. This is too dangerous to be used for a lesson. Thus, it goes to the discard pile. Weak sauce. Zilu crumpled up the paper without hesitation and tossed it out of sight. No, I wanted to see it! Next. Intro to Societal Reintegration. Impressive title. Chapter 1. How to shake hands with your left hand when the situation calls for it. Chapter 2. Exploration of exclusively long-sleeve fashion and practices. What? Chapter 3. Projecting confidence and why having a bug arm is totally cool. That's, you know how it is. Be proud of who you are, all that philosophy stuff. I wanted this lesson to give a bit of paradigm shift where we can all come to see our flaws not as failings but as evidence of our individuality. I'm giving up on the voices. I can't do it anymore. Which will usher in a world where we can carry on with our lives, no matter what kind of arm we have. Discard. Next. Zilu quickly flipped through the pages. Intro to Denigrative Linguistics. Subheading. Power of words. Sticks and stones may break their bones, so let's add words to the pile. My credentials include the ability to dress down an opponent so hard they fall to their knees and beg me to stop. Excuse me? Okay. I know the kind of Limbus fans that are gonna be out there and make fan art of this. I have plans for application as well. The lesson teaches methods pertaining to disguising compliments and criticisms and vice versa. All of this seems rather difficult to learn. I have concluded from my hitherto observations that Jashichun is an individual of great promise in this field. Follow my instructions to a T, and I guarantee you that this cadet shall be able to have the upper hand in any verbal confrontations. Is this a curriculum to make the best brawler or the best family hierarch out of me? Zilu seemed quite interested, but Jashichun's vehement veto eventually overruled the suggestion. On Justice. Another impressive title. Subheading. Mythologies of captivating an entire room of preoccupied audience. Discard. Fion thee! Wherefore? Next. Praxis of ego splitting concerning intermirror conflict between the self and reflection and paradoxically fractured theory of idealism in which one attempts to open an unopening door to open the door. Utterly incomprehensible. Discard. Perhaps Miss Roshi's advice to truncate the lesson title should have been taken in earnest. Survival and exploration. 21 reasons to pay attention when the exploration team leader is giving advice on the upcoming adventure. Case study for 30 horrible mistakes that occurred because the team was distracted during the leader's lecture. How to track down a troublemaker who tries to sweep trouble under the rug while the team leader isn't looking. Someone ignored my advice that we should have been moving 2 steps ahead. Finally, I've narrowed them into 3 culprits. Wait, I forgot to take that part out. And into the shredder it went. When did that paper shredder get there? The art of using yawning as a cover for popping a cookie or 2 into your mouth, especially useful when getting lectured. Hey, if you get good enough at it, you can do that with nuts too. Aha! So it was you who made those crunching noises in our last meeting. What? Nah, do you take me for an amateur? The art of social maneuvers. How to let it flow through you. How to not make things awkward when you walk right in on someone bad-mouthing you. The most important part of this art is to flash a refreshing smile in a way that looks earnest. It helps when you convince yourself that smiling is what brings good fortune. Smiles have a way of disarming people, giving them pause and making them hesitate. I remember that. Big Bro used that technique to confuse a lot of Dangguan people who hated him. I see. This... I can't quite bring myself to throw this into the shredder. Next, how to remain in complete stillness for a week until the next command is received. This lesson plan was designed based on Rodian's advice that I must prioritize strengths that are unique to myself.
Look, in my defense, I didn't know he considered that to be his unique strength, okay?
Let us consider whether standing in complete stillness for a week is quality one might seek in the family hierarchy. This one is certainly interesting. What separates bravado from bravery? Jack shite, sawed off and grab your weapons. Yep, always gotta read the full print. Ha! It's my philosophy that the reason don't necessarily need to be considered before coming to blows. Martial prowess is indeed an indispensable part of the family hierarchy's qualities. But our focus is not on developing a hierarchy of syndicate. Next. Information disparity as a driver of inequitable treatment.
Oh? Huh. That's actually the most interesting sounding one so far.
And the application of engineering frameworks.
Okay, it's kinda losing me, but I'm still on board.
For systematic resolution in rational self-interest driven societies and—
Oh! Gesellschaft! Is it still going?
That was 1/5 of the full tile. Oh! It seems the same trouble has hindered both you and I.
Every word in the title was added for its absolute necessity.
Indeed, indeed. After she had gone through the majority of her lesson plans. Finally. Now that's over. Yes, it's finally my turn. Sinclair sighed with the gravitas of someone who's just been bestowed with the most important mission in his life. Thinking back, even back in school, I used to daydream about becoming a teacher myself. I thought I could be good at it. So I guess you could say that I'm pretty happy to be given an opportunity like this. I call my lesson The Theory on Self-Overcoming. We have to accept that everyone stumbles at first, but by always striving to be a better person than I was yesterday.
Hey, but what if I like who I was yesterday more?
That's okay. Everyone has their own unique potential sleeping deep inside. So with everything I've learned and experienced so far, let me teach you. Let me teach you how to not doubt your own capabilities. How to always shoot higher.
Hold on, you had me for a second there, but what's up with acting like you're an infinitely more enlightened person than I am? What?
Of course. I've prepared a speaking class where you can learn how to speak with modesty, too. I never would have imagined Sinclair would be this into it.
Yeah, too bad he's so into it that he's not even listening to what Chichin's saying. Following that, your company's... it seems that Zilu has completed her review. Oh, I see. Now how's everything going, everyone? Class prep going well? My curriculum most especial! Okay, so that's a no. That was Sod's impression upon taking a quick glance at Don Quixote, who was sobbing and cradling the shredded pieces of her lesson plan in her hands.
Well, it wasn't a complete bust, at least. Sinclair's lesson plan survived. Yeah, Miss Igong, Miss Sod, I prepared a full 30 days worth of lesson plans. Would you like to take a look? But Zigong and Sod weren't looking at the dozens of lesson plans Sinclair presented so proudly before their eyes. They were looking away. Zigong especially was looking away with an unmistakable expression of pity. Huh? So he doesn't know.
Would you mind explaining this, Zilu?
I could not bring myself to tell him. Apologies.
So this young man produced this entire sizable stack of lesson plans all on his own. I see. Weakness has found its way into your heart in the face of such earnest effort. I understand.
However, it has been decided that Sinclair will not be participating as one of Jashichun's teachers.
Or should I call you pupil, Sinclair, to be exact? He's so done!
Oh, Sinclair, school's not over. Get back to class! This has got to be a mistake, right? Isn't Shichun the pupil here?
No, there haven't been any mistakes. My lord has specifically instructed that you are to learn from this as well.
What? What? Seriously? This isn't right. Guys, this isn't right.
Huh? Now this looks like a proper classroom. It would have felt pretty dang empty with just Su-chin sitting there all on her own, don't you think? Besides, I bet Sink's the resident expert on going to schools, right? School was a luxury for me, you know?
Yeah, maybe, but that doesn't mean I ever wanted to go back to school. You should learn to be grateful. I don't dole out my teachings to just anyone. Don't forget we have to redo the whole lesson plan under their supervision. Oh, it is you. You always get on your soapbox and try to lecture everyone about something after every single battle anyway. And you, Ishmael, you always get hyperfixated on something. Once you find something interesting, you never stop talking about it for 3 hours at least, and... I will ensure that you receive the best education I can provide, Sinclair. Hold on, Yisang! I thought we were the underdog duo! Remember during the checkup when I said we got this? We were going to get this together! The evaluation painted a twisted picture of the true scale of strength, the stole measure of which erroneously relied entirely on physical might. I shall not hesitate to impart knowledge for those who require education. Congratulations, my lady. You have found yourself a desk mate, which also call a bestie, depending on the desk placement. That's true. Oh my gosh, one of my closest friends, my bestest friends, was my seatmate. Holy crap, this is so true. Oh my gosh, my mic wasn't on. Her face is so cute! She finally has a bestie! Deskmate? Bestie? What the heck does any of that mean? Huh? Jashi Chin's eyes widen with confusion as though she just heard those words for the first time in her life. When I first met her when she was 16, she explained to me that she hadn't attended any school-like institutions. This is par for the course for children of Hongwen, who are raised for the purpose of becoming the next family hierarch. The reason being that schools can be a perfect place to assassinate someone. So, deskmates and besties. Sinclair began to explain, seemingly resigned to the fact that he was essentially going back to school for a month with the sinners as his teachers. Usually sit next to each other and help one another out. A bestie might nudge the other awake when they doze off, share their homework with one another if one forgot to do theirs. They usually end up being included in the best memories of each other's school time.
So not very important at all, huh? I think I got this on my own. I don't need a bestie. Damn! Rejected!
It may have come as a few years late, but I am moved that my lady finally has a chance at experiencing school. Same here. I remembered it like yesterday. Shichin would sit and watch other kids walk to school from a distance, tears welling in her eyes. Dude! Oh, that reminds me. One day out of nowhere, she started saying something about eating from lunchboxes with friends. I haven't a clue as to how or where she even heard about it, but she snuck into the kitchen and... Wait! Don't you guys have a lesson plan to write? Come on, hurry up! 30 days are ticking down. We've only got 30 days. Of course. Unfortunately, I have become quite occupied with another task of great importance, assisting Wei with indexing and reviewing various documents that are in critical need of organizing. Thus, I must leave the lesson planning task to you two, Zilu and Miss Sod. Have you any thoughts on this matter? Slacker.
What was that?
I said nothing.
No, the shredder!
Also, side note, you don't put paper like that in a shredder. It's gonna crumple itself. And I don't think the strands look like that. Okay, I'm being nitpicky about the art. I love art anyway. Woo! Woo! We're gonna play now! 30 days of classes! Let's go! Yee! Zilu and Sod appear to have aged several years overnight, their faces sunken and sallow. Finally! After referencing the idiosyncrasies in various
statistical data available to us regarding each sinner, we managed to come up with an appropriate curriculum.
Oh, poor girl.
Miss Silu?
Apologies. Sleep deprivation has relieved me of clear mind. Why is this giving Uma Musume references? Stop it! I just bought Pretty Derby Dash today. Where? The path of an educator is truly a grueling one. Marching to battle would be much easier.
Still, thanks to Mr. Jachu's methodology you shared, we did manage to find a way to make this quite efficient. Efficient, huh?
To be a true family hierarch, there are dozens, hundreds of virtues one must understand and master. However, to do so in 30 days as promised is an implausible effort. Thus, we have categorized the countless virtues into 3 supercategories, and they are called Stats bar, Speed, Wit, Stamina. Just kidding.
What are these supposed to be?
Ji, Young, and Ren. Ji, Wisdom. The wise lose neither people nor words. To hold one's silence in need of speech shall cost them people. To speak in need of silence shall cost them words.
A reasonable sequence of logic.
Young, Courage. The ability to overcome fear. To act decisively. Have too much of it and risk becoming a brute. Have too little and risk becoming a craven. Craven? I do not know words. It needs harmony and balance. So how far are we allowed to go with corporal punishment again? I recall no instance of any discussion regarding corporal punishment. And Ren, humanity, is the benevolence of the heart, the compass of behavior that dictates respect toward every human. Clearly, most of the faculties of this school are severely lacking in all 3 of your criteria. Just how do you think they'll be able to teach the students anything? Yeah, like a certain someone who needs a lesson in Ren.
Are you sure I'm in good hands? Just what the heck am I supposed to learn here? Where's Wei? Mr. Wei and Miss Seagong are currently quite preoccupied with handling the monumental task of paperwork. Alright. Mr. Wei wanted me to deliver this message to you.
Be strong, my lady.
Wei!
Despite her protestations, the 30 days of classes commenced. Tutorial time! Ha ha ha, how are you gonna do this? Oh gosh. Ah! This is a mandatory class. Okay. Morale? What the? Huh? This doesn't feel real! So plus 2 is they're all the same. Oh! Okay. This feels like an edit. It doesn't feel real. What the heck? My name is Yisong. That is all. Oh god. The class I have prepared for the day.
I've heard plenty about your mirror tech, which makes me wonder, going by the level of advancement in that technology, couldn't you have approached it from a different angle? You know how technological advancement usually goes. People invent for the sake of creation, only to have their inventions inevitably warped into weapons of destruction.
Indeed, you show so much promise already. As you surmise now, the mirror has, in the past, almost been employed to shatter possibilities instead of reflecting them.
I'm sure that's the angle most others wanted to see happen. Removal of potential risks. Sounds much more palatable than potential self to some people after all.
Correct again. Yet destruction was a word that bore too much suffering for my heart. My sole egress from it was abandonment of my quantum fellows and my life's work, making myself a fugitive from the past.
How did you bring yourself to just abandon it all?
I conversed.
With who?
With myself that lies within me. As you are aware, the mirror's reflection extends beyond the veils of our own reality. It reflects the potentialities, the latent strength, and the world. Yet even among them, the reflection of the greatest importance is that of the self. Let not the not the innumerable words of the mirror enchant your gaze. First, one must direct their studies inward and reflect upon them oneself. Ooh! Oh my gosh, that's the Dongbed Battles background. I learned how to be more true to myself by looking into the mirror. Oh, look at how happy they are! Jashuchin has grown. Sinclair has grown. Now, if you are prepared, do explain what you see in the mirror. You needn't haste. For some reason, Shichin appeared to hesitate before the mirror. Hey, you know, it's been a while since I looked into the mirror for so long. My lady, do you recall Sunjun of the Shi family who contacted you for a meeting? Yeah, the guy who said he was going to show me a precious flower that blooms only at night. I remember that you were vehemently against me going out there, so I stayed inside. I wondered what kind of flower it was. Don't tell me you were actually looking forward to meeting him, my lady. Oh, of course not. You were wise to stay inside. It was revealed that you weren't the only person who was invited, my lady. That vile man had hired a group of assassins to ambush the meeting spot, and would have been waiting there to spring the trap had you gone. But apparently he was outplayed and had his limbs and head torn off as punishment. What a relief, isn't it? I guess. I'm glad he didn't go away. You were right. If only you still had the Wu branch under your control. Stop it. We agreed to move on from that, remember? We don't have to talk about it. I was brushing my hair and looking in the mirror as we were talking, but I realized that I no longer recognized the girl in the mirror. I don't know why, but I found it so hard to meet her eyes. But I brushed it off because I had to. An experience like that was going to become a common occurrence anyway, and a family hierarchy war was always looming on their horizon. Perhaps what you felt then may have been shame. It is paramount to face oneself nonetheless, nay, especially so if it was. And Sinclair, what do you see? I see... Well, I just see myself smiling. I don't see what's so out of the ordinary. What if you saw he and Damien kissing? Sorry. But it seemed like Sinclair couldn't really bring himself to face the mirror. Hey, after what we just discussed, I think I understand something now. Now that I've had some quiet time looking at my reflection, I think I've uncovered a part of myself I've had hidden away for a long time. Oh wait, I just noticed these! They're so cute! Aww! These are so adorable. Oh wow, he's now an expert. Wow! Okay, so it does change. Hi, Sinclair. So this is how we switch them. Okay. Wait, there's a combo? Uh-huh. You hashing it or you should... Huh, I guess I can only choose 2 for this. Huh, interesting. Tis true that a station of teaching is prone to imbue one with a sense of bashfulness. Sinclair and Jichin both sat with a bit of apprehension as well. Which is understandable, given what Saad told them some time before the lesson started. Some time ago, Otis, who'd been glaring daggers at Don Quixote for a while, finally decided to voice her doubts to Saad. So, what is Don Quixote, that woman, supposed to teach? Have you not considered that her usual flippancy might only cause more trouble than it's worth? You worry too much, Otis.
While she may not look it, Don Quixote is extremely well versed in those adventure tales.
And why would any of that matter?
Have you yourself considered that fixers often appear when history is in the making? Let's see here. Don Quixote took a second to savor the moment as though she had been preparing her whole life for it, then continued. Amongst the greatest fixers whose honored names are engraved in history. Ah, verily! Let us commence this lesson with the tale of the fixer Yue. This tale beginneth in the year some time later. Are you done? Just how can she continue to talk at such length? She's been going on for ages. Thus cometh to the time to test thy dedication to this class, and the knowledge that should naturally come with it. A pop quiz, if thou wilt. Oh, where'd you even find the time to prepare this? I can assure thee, 'tis a quiz of entirely reasonable difficulty. If thou had paid attention in class, worry thee not. Does this pop quiz have any prizes? Aha! But of course, I came prepared for such inquiries. For each correct answer I shall bestow upon thee from the very treasure chest of mine. These precious, precious fixer badges. Forsooth, I did not let a single day go by in which I did not polish each and every one of them on 3 separate occasions at the very least. I don't know. I don't really need them. Hold thine applause, for there is a bonus reward for the victor who, by the end of this match, carries more badges. Thou shalt attain the role of the protagonist in this theatrical play of my making, Fixer Chronicles UFA. 'Tis an opportunity of a lifetime.
I'm still not really... It's not doing anything for either of us.
It's still a pretty useless reward, but if you're turning this into a competition, I won't lose.
Seriously?
What, scare you'll lose? Is history your weakness or something?
Huh. I'll have you know that I was the teacher's pet in every single history class I took.
And I'll have you know that I was, no matter the subject, showered with praise from every master I ever had.
Okay, if that's how you want to play it, I'll have you know that I was a prodigy in other classes too. I did great in art classes, pretty good in math too. I was just being humble because I didn't want to steal your thunder, Shichun.
Oh? Then let me tell you that I was trained in the mastery of at least 10 different disciples every single day. And on one of those days, you know what one of my masters told me? He said, looks like Miss Joshichin's finally getting a feel for how friendships close in age are forged in school. That's good. No matter how excellent her masters were, there are some experiences you just can't learn from teachers.
I TikToked in your spots!
'Tis year 505! What is the historical community's consensus on the most illustrious battle that Fixer UFA is said to have partaken in? Allow me to impart to thee a major clue, if thou hadst paid attention as I discoursed upon the 5 pillages in which the Fixer UFA was mentioned. This should not be a difficult question to answer. The honorable fixer of the Cerulean Haven, who triumphed the Battle of Rhino Tree in the year 465, had said what was the worst ordeal she had to face in her career. I've got it! It's when she had to forge onward, despite watching her dear comrades fall one by one as they held the line to buy her time.
Damn it! I was too slow.
Via, young Shichun, thou'rt incorrect! Honorable fixer of the Cerulean Haven is recorded to have testified that is the worst ordeal in her career was when she was forced to stand before her enemies with hair that was not luscious, as those of line breakage caused her regular delivery of nutritional supplements to cease. What thou hast suggested, young Sichun, was her 17th most difficult ordeal.
She's speaking like she was actually there. She might as well be.
Thine impression is quite understandable, for I am trained in the ways of vividly regaling these tales. But most of these tales I have learned from books.
Holy crap.
Much I did anticipate an opportunity to regale these tales to such an audience, enough to study the ways of minstrels. There was a clear look of pride in her twinkling eyes. Aw, she has her figure since the Kamen Rider pose.
I was completely absorbed in the exhilarating tales of fixers. I even forgot to breathe at one point. Oh my gosh, Sinclair does the same sitting position as I do. I sit like this. What was the secret technique Honorable Fixer Lysander employed in his resolution of the case of the Fey Forest? Speak its name in full! I've got it! It's, a Summer Night Fantasia. Yet I cannot let pass such an unmotivating retelling of his superior ultimate move. Hardly could one internalize the true, noble spirit of Fixers by simply reciting it with such apathy. That must recreate the exact pose and the enunciation. Well, are you kidding me? Come on, you can do this, Joshi-chan. You can do this. This is nothing. Illusions of a midsummer night shall devour thee whole. Don Quixote with her handkerchief. This is amazing. Summer night, Fantasia. Thine enunciation was quite shaky upon the word illusions, yet thou hast demonstrated sufficient courage. Thus I bestow upon thee this badge. I grow tired of this nonsense. Just how much longer are you planning to drag this on? Thus muttered the hero, and then declared, I shall tear this evil storm asunder and find a place for this blade at the center of thy heart. Dante, lights, left side. Gotcha. Don Quixote, who was watching Sinclair and Joshi-chan's two-person play, silently wiped her tears away. Bravo! Bravo! Certain minor details were missed, such as that Yefe, this fixer, was left-handed, and that he had the habit of playing with his lighter in his left pocket before every duel. Yet 'twas a wonderful reenactment indeed! I have no other critique to impart upon thee. When faced with great adversary in thine adventures, rekindle the memory of Yefe, the fixer's final duel. Remember it well. Thus cometh to an end the lessons of today. I cannot English that enough. It's hard to English today. It was just a moment, but I think I'm starting to get it. I get why she's so obsessed with fixers. Clutched tightly in Shichin's hands were the badges Don Quixote had gifted to her. Yay! Oh, and then Yisang again. Their stats are relatively the same. Okay, max HP increased. Okay, how can I add more? Is that a combo? I don't know. They both have the same stats so far. This is a component part taken from the structure that forms H-Corp. This may prove to be an opportunity to conduct an in-depth analysis on the nature of the former H-Corp singularity, which has been enduring for such a long time. You look kinda upbeat today, Miss Faust. Indeed, an opportunity to study the old H-Corp singularity is not one that comes often. As there was potential for integration into Mephistopheles, I made a request to disassemble a part of the bus's engine, but was denied. A shame. Aren't you the one who built Mephistopheles, though, Miss Faust? Mephistopheles is indeed Faust's work, but not all of it was mine. It is possible that Faust may never reveal every small detail that went into its creation. I would very much enjoy a chance to completely disassemble it, even its engines, so that it could be reassembled with my own hands. Yeah, sure. Oh, it exploded. Based on the skills I learned, I managed to recreate the model of the machine from Faust's blueprint. Oh, there is a combo! So that's how it works. I think I get it. Didn't think this is how I'd get to learn more about the old H-Corp.
I don't think I can do much against the reconstruction days right now, but this knowledge will certainly come in handy when the day comes for me to gradually dismantle that inquituous thing. The day when Hongwen can be a place where people can live without fear. Without the fear of the encroaching reconstruction days. Without obsessively counting their rooms to see if they'll fall or not. Until Hongwen can be a place where you can sleep with the promise of safe tomorrows. I'm sure you'll pull it off. Oh, and I learned a lot during this lesson too, Miss Faust. It was bound to happen. The voltage must have been set too high. Repeating experiment with a different combination of fuses and wires. There was supposed to be a lesson somewhere in there, right? Right? Yay! It's now an expert! Oh, Gregor is now here. Okay. We can upgrade it? Interesting. Unlike some other classes, which were more on the upbeat side of things. He's gonna talk about the war, isn't he? The room's air felt grim and solemn as soon as everyone saw what Gregor had written on the chalkboard. On war. Losing a wing war leaves a much larger, long-lasting impact than some medium-sized enterprise closing up shop. It might be too soon to talk about this, but we came pretty darn close to one recently, didn't we? We were this close to a large-scale war breaking out here, which absolutely would have happened if Miss Sichun here failed to finish her ascension. It would have spread like wildfire too. Some of my class is going to be about what exactly happens when a war... Oh. The piece of chalk slipped from Gregor's fingers as he went to scribble something on the board. His left hand was trembling as though the room's temperature had plummeted only for him. Man, why is it gotta... Excuse me, Miss Zelo. Is it okay if I smoke? Go ahead. You good? Well, when else am I gonna get a chance to share the realities of war right into a wing chief executive officer's face, huh? This is gonna get uncomfortable. The moments that just don't come off your skin, no matter how hard you scrub at them. Hey, take a break if you need it. I'm going to listen to every word you have to say here today, no matter how long it takes. Man, do I appreciate that sentiment. Well, still though, I can't dilly-dally when Miss Sichun's got other stuff to deal with, huh? So, let's take a look at how things were at the very beginning of the Wing War. Now I know enough about urban and trench warfare to give an explanation of my own. And that's why the smoke war fronts were mostly characterized by trench warfare. No one wanted to risk fighting in concrete jungles where they could be surrounded by enemies at all times, so everyone tried to draw each other out to an open battlefield, which naturally turned into a trench warfare. Of course, every wing has a different singularity, so this isn't really applicable to all cases. It's just that the former G-Corp found flat plains easier to maneuver in. I feel like Danguanyan could make a pretty good use of Hongwan as a defensive fortress, especially with its internal structure constantly shifting around, which the Heisho know and use very well. Exactly. This should explain why they were hesitating outside Danguanyan. Remember the thumb fellas? The ones who we met who were going in circles? Not to mention how the Heisho all utilize the topography of Hongwan differently. Even if an outsider were to get a read on how one of the branches maneuver around Hongwan, as long as the 12 Heisho branches are standing, Hongwan is unassailable. Well, despite going into all that, I'm sure we all know what the best answer in all warfare is. Not having a war in the first place. I'll be honest, I can't stop thinking about some of the stories you've been telling us. I can't even imagine what it would have been like to have to not only witness it, but to go through all of that. We did visit your fathoms, Gregor, but that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg. The city was devoured in smoke, its citizens in madness. He'd always shrug off those stories as ramblings of the past, but during the war, he stood at the center of the heartless machine that was the city, its every gear calibrated to slaughterhouse precision to maximize the death of its people. There, he must have witnessed things far worse than the worst the city presently has to offer. His eyes gazed beyond the veil of the bygone past, shaking restlessly in pursuit of what was no more.
Oh boy. Sorry, fellas. I'm afraid I got carried away lamenting what happened that I forgot this was supposed to be a class. I'll be sure to prep something more useful next time.
No. Everything you told me really solidified my resolve. This chaos within Hongwan needs to come to an end soon, lest something so horrible could happen. I'm heading to my next class.
Wait for me! They have different classrooms? Even after the two students left, Gregor lingered in that room for a while, lighting up a cigarette after cigarette without erasing what he wrote on the chalkboard. Smoke soon filled the room. He left only after almost emptying the entire pack. And then we have Don Quixote! That was such a whiplash. Ooh, we have Hong Luno. I want to get all of these to master. So I have surviving Hongwan, my war tales, understanding of city and engineering and its practices. What stones? Be passionate and dream on. Fix your tales. Metaphysical approach to ego and the reflected world. Okay.
How are classes going, Sichun?
I'm not you, big bro.
I pay attention in class.
Oh, hello, Miss Dayu.
She really was insistent on helping me out, even though I refused because she looked preoccupied. The moment I found out about the contents of his lesson plan, I simply could not allow him to do this alone.
Looks like it's going to be another serious class.
Apologies for the delayed greetings. Dayu of the Lin family formally extends her greetings to the venerable hierarch.
Been a while since I heard that greeting around here.
Wait, what about Big Sis Bao Chai? Are you sure it's okay for a Shui family bodyguard to be here?
I am no longer employed as Miss Bao Chai's guard. Wait, don't tell me we got you fired. Everything I did that day, including accompany you, was under Miss Bao Chai's orders. As for why she no longer needed my services, I don't understand myself. She suddenly let me go after all the trouble was over.
So, what's there for you to teach me, big bro? Your last lesson plan about not making things awkward got vetoed by Zilu, so... You could have taught me a thing or two if we were still kids, but come on! You spent most of your time stuck in Yi Hongwan before leaving Hongwan. I don't know what you could possibly have to teach me. Don't you worry, Shichun. This is the one thing I think I'm pretty good at. My lesson for Shichun and Sinclair is... In clear, neat handwriting, Honglu wrote surviving Hongwan on the chalkboard. Oh, well, I don't think I need any help in that department from you. Look, I know you had your fair share of assassination attempts, big bro, but the previous hierarch and the elders favor sheltered you from the worst of it.
She's not wrong. Back when we had to fight our way through a bunch of sweepers, weren't you also one of the handful who got assassinated?
Oh, that?
I was wandering the hallways because I felt like something was off about my room.
Until Dante told us all to go back to our rooms, of course.
Wait, it was my fault?
You do have some intuition, I'll give you that. Looks like I'm going to have to prove myself. Dayu, would you mind preparing the thing?
You have my utmost faith, but please, do practice caution.
Some time later, Lin Dayu appeared with 4 bowls splishing with tea, before sprinkling some powder into one of them.
What's that?
That's powdered wolfsbane. I see where this is going. You're going to teach me how to tell which of these bowls contain poison, right? You can stop now. I learned to recognize infamous poisons like wolfsbane when I was 7.
If it was something as tame as what you are suggesting, Venerable Hierarch, I would not have been here to accompany him. Lin Daiyu continued her process, sprinkling wolfsbane powder into 2 more bowls. Honglu, who was watching that with an oddly contented expression, closed his eyes. Please mix them up, Daiyu. Okay, wait, what? We stared in confusion, but we could hardly tell what was going on with the speed at which Lin Daiyu swapped around the bowls. When we looked back at Honglu, there were 3 silver spoons in his hand. Those silver spoons were custom made at Dang Guanyan's request, a must-have item for children of the 4 great houses. They can detect non-sulfuric poison as well. Ah! I was gonna mention that. Yeah, I know. They're actually... Actually what? It's nothing. In Hongwan, where we are beset by threats of assassination from all directions, knowledge alone isn't enough to save you. What the heck are you? But Honglu opens his eyes before Jashichun can finish her sentence. Then he throws the silver spoons in his hands like throwing pins toward 3 of the bowls, and immediately chugs at the 4th bowl in which he hadn't thrown a spoon at. Holy crap, are you insane? You barely even checked them for... Students' newer tea is always delicious, even when cooled. The 3 silver spoons Honglu had cast earlier were slowly melting away after quickly becoming tarnished black. Is wolfsbane's poison supposed to melt through metal? People like to be thorough with their poisons in Dangguanyan. Since everyone's been trained for immunity since childhood, you have to make a mixture of various poisons to have a real effect. Fine, I don't even want to argue. What's your secret? I want to know too. Do they sound different or something? I just went with my hunch. Just a hunch? How are we supposed to learn that? We're not Heathcliff, you know. You'll get the hang of it after a few tries. I'll help you out. Shall we begin with 2 bowls? Whoa, that's cool. I see. When you say you just avoided whatever felt wrong with a hunch, you're reflexively identifying the threat by reading the room and connecting it to your intuitive experiences. Aha! You're using Miss Daiyu's anxious breathing to clue you in. So this is how you managed to survive for so long. Listen carefully, Sichun. I know the adepts of each Heisho will come to your aid with a flick of your wrist. And I know that your residence, Nuan Shangwu, I'm sorry if I'm butchering these Chinese pronunciations, will be engineered by the best craftsmen to become a safe fortress stocked to the brim with all kinds of useful boluses to protect your life. Even still, there will come a day when you start to feel this creeping sensation whose origin you can't identify. And when it does, I hope you won't brush off that sensation as nothing. You're worrying over nothing. Jashichun whipped around away from Honglu as if to express dissatisfaction, but her softened expression told me that she was glad to see him worried. Every 6 days, you'll be subject to midterms, prepared by the board of directors, Jia Wanchun. A palanquin has been prepared to take you to the exam sites, and only by passing the test may Jia Shichun retain her status as the family hierarch. My lady. Oh, don't worry yourself over much, Master Wei. You sound like you're at a funeral. She will pass these tests with ease as long as she has been diligently taking her classes. No, it's... I simply hope I can survive until she returns. It seemed that Wei's rather funeral voice wasn't just out of his concern for Shichun. Wei, are you sure you're okay? I can't escape them, even in dreams. The unfinished bundles of paperwork cascading over me like a storm, burying me. Steel yourself, for that was no dream at all. In fact, never have I once seen paperwork trained in the arts of airwalking until now. I must be severely sleep deprived. Looks like we're not the only ones going through the ringer. class just now an excerpt. Ooh, okay, midterm. It feels weird doing this kind of gameplay for like, because this is not what I'm used to. Hey, you're one of the she boys. The she boys. We finally meet. I had hoped to fight you in the family hierarchy war. If you'd run into me then. Isn't this supposed to be a sparring match? Why does it sound like you have a personal grudge against me? Oh, it's nothing. Nothing at all. Why in the world would I ever hold a grudge against you? The results of the family hierarchy war couldn't be any clearer. And everyone even remotely connected to the mess has all been dragged away and put under investigation. And hey, guess what? They dragged away half of my family, which means more room for me. I should really thank you, right? Honestly, why don't you just declare a war against the Shi family at this point? Wouldn't that be much easier? War's not easy. It never is. What are you on about all of a sudden? It's not something we should be talking so lightly about, even as a joke. Your family was arrested because they are under investigation for treason against Dang Yan. If they're innocent, I'm sure they'll be released soon enough. Tch, I know it's pretty much a given that they'll all be ruled as guilty, regardless of what really happened. You know I can't even pay them a visit because you've hidden their cells all over Hongwan? They're not hidden. All holding cells within Hongwan have always been designed to move around in very short intervals. You know, that does seem like the kind of design that would lead people to make some unfortunate assumptions, though I'm sure the initial purpose was to prevent escapes. I recently gained a better understanding of Hongwan's structure, so I'm planning to change our policy so that prisoners still on trial are allowed to have fixed locations. Really? Where do you... I was lucky enough to take a few excellent classes recently. Managed to reflect upon myself a bit too. Huh, you did change a little. Still, you better not expect me to go easy on you. I've got my own things to take care of. Good. Come on, let's do this. Many illustrious fixers of the past have said that not but a oh my gosh, you really took Donkey's class, seriously? That not but that word awaits unjust victories. Wait, she really made that her, like, final word? Holy crap, Shichun. It's a gong! I guess I just do nothing. Uh-oh. You can do it. Good job. I'm taking my this time to rest my voice, so sorry for the lack of commentary. It's so hard to voice everyone when it's unvoiced. Oh! Won! We won! Yay! Good for you. You won. Now stop giving me that look and get out of here. You lost most of your clan during the family hierarchy war, didn't you? Yeah? So what? Are you calling me a penniless loser? Yeah. Wow, okay. You little... And I'm sure that's what I look like to you too. I don't want your sorry. I don't want your... Sorry. Every clan member who died in the evaluation to have died for nothing. If I show weakness, that means I'm making everyone who participated in the evaluation look weak. So I'm going to win.
and I'm going to win without the fertile soil my predecessors have left behind, because their legacy was unjustly nourished by the blood and tears of Hong Wen itself. Shi Huazhen, you're tenacious, determined, and strong of will. That must be why everyone stood by you, down to the last man.
You knew my name? Ma'am?
I do. So what do you think? Want to make them sing your name in glory for the remaining history of Hong Wen?
Ooh, using her words well, nice. Oh, we have Ishmael. Heard you managed to come out on top in your first sparring match. Congrats.
Thanks. I gotta admit, your classes are definitely coming in handy.
I like your attitude. Well, shall we take a look at what I prepared for today?
You're teaching about exploring, huh? It's going to be an indoors class?
Yep, exploring. Where should I begin? It's a very big subject. Free soloing to the top of the highest building in Honglan, surviving 10 days in Honglan's back streets with only 3 items. I had plenty of ideas, but most of them got denied. And rightly so. And that's when I realized that exploring isn't always limited to adventures in the physical space. A few weeks ago, so I'm just here to fill in, since this game needs a certain number of players, but really? Can you really call this a tabletop game an adventure? Yet in games of make-believes, any simulacra can be made as real as... Ah, what a move.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna roll for damage.
Young Ishmael, thou hast absolutely plummeted the Gorgon beast with thy fireball spell, rendering it most crispy. Oh, they're playing D&D. It was a formidable foe. That was wonderfully executed, Miss Ishmael. I'm stuttering. Oh no. Huh? Really? Well then, as my next move...
And that's how you came up with this?
I played a few other games, but this is new to me. This is new for me too. I'm still pretty new in general, I guess. This is called Jianghu Journeys, or J&J. It's a popular game among Hongnuan's youths. It's gotten generally positive reviews too. What Israel so proudly represented before everyone appeared to be a board game with numerous cards and minifigures.
Okay, what do these huge piles of paper have to do with exploration?
Rule number 1. The most experienced player among those gathered becomes the JM. The JM? Dungeon Master! Yeah, Journey Master! Yep, they're playing D&D! The Journey Master designs the story around the player's choices, sets the stage for what happens next, and generally helps guide the explorers to safely arrive at their goals. That's why the most experienced player takes that role. Which would be me. Wisdom, strength, dexterity. Each character seems to have these things called stats. Ah, looks like we just have to pick from a set of pre-made characters for this one.
So, I'm supposed to be playing this character's role?
Sinclair and Joshi Chun picked up their cards with confusion clear in their eyes. You arrive at the great city of Yanyan, a place known to be the gathering hub for all kinds of influential people. You traveled here in search of an, legendary treasure called, the Tianyan Sword. The city of Yanyan, huh? Cool. So why are we looking for that sword again? Oh, it's because, so there's this legend in Yanyan about how the the Tianya sword is the only way to quell the chaos of these lands and to bring peace to its people. And also about how having that sword is proof of the true leader of these lands, and so on and so forth, you know. Ishra was stuttering and stammering through the introduction without her usual confidence.
I see. The city called Yanyan must be in a lot of trouble too.
Seemingly affected by the oddly familiar setting of the story, Joshichin nodded solemnly without noticing Ishmael stumbling through the introduction. Well, you know how it is. The point is you guys need to go find that sword.
Then, I will claim the Tianya sword, no matter what it costs me.
Joshichin nods with determination.
Worked with Sinclair to come up with creative solutions to all kinds of trials he faced in the adventure. From the rumors we've gathered, it seems that the Kejan Keep might have heard of the whereabouts of that sword. What will you do? I walk up to the Kejan Keep, chat him up, and try to gain his trust. Are you sure? Remember, your wisdom is extremely low right now, which means you'll find it hard to form even the simplest sentences. What if I found a different way to gain the Kenjan Keep's trust that doesn't involve sweet-talking him? I do have a pretty high strength stat, which would give me access to certain alternative methods of persuasion that doesn't require skill in speechcraft. Hold on. I'll try to convince the Kejan Keep. I think I've got decent chance at this. My wisdom is pretty high. And you pass the check. The Kejan Keep looks at you, having lowered his guard. Oh, not you, Sinclair. He's still pretty wary of you. Okay then. I guess I'll just stand in the corner over there and shoot my weapon and play around with it for a bit. That's what he expects me to do anyway, isn't it? You're just role-playing Heathcliff now, aren't you? The Kejan Keep shares some information about the sword he heard. He explains that the party should seek northeast, towards Yinji Mountain. But, huh? What's this? Tears begin to well in the Kejan Keep's eyes as he continues to explain. Apparently, a patrolling guard beat his son pretty badly, just for loitering around the guard. The wound is pretty severe, so he needs medicine, but he can't seem to find any. Oh no. That's too bad, but we've got a job to do. Since we have what we came here for, we lead the Kejan. Well, they say that jams aren't supposed to interfere with the players' choices, but let's be honest, I would have made the same choice. You can't stop and help out for every little side quest when there's a whole lot of adventure to go through. No, we're not leaving. I'm going to get him that medicine. What? After a few turns of various trials and tribulations for Sinclair, the Kejan Keep's son, who fortunately was able to recover, hears your story and hesitantly shares what he knows. You realize he's talking about the fairy Yaguai, guardian of the Chanya sword. He explains that the fairy Yaguai's power grows under bright moonlight. Hold on, isn't it full moon right now? Then we should wait until the sky's overcast. Hearing that, the innkeep's son takes a quick look at the clouds, then tells you that it might be raining in about a week. Glad we helped him out. Phew, okay. Let's make sure we're prepared before we go. Ooh, CG! You're going to have to roll 15 or higher to hit. I know, I'm focused. Hey, I rolled a 16! With a final singular strike from Jashichun, the fairy Yaguai finally falls to the ground, defeated. Yes, the Tianya sword is ours! Excited, the party runs up to the sword embedded deep into the earth and grabs enthusiastically upon the hilt. Oh my god, she's biting his... Don't bite your fingers, bro! You have gloves for a reason! With this we can... However... The defeated fairy Yaguai, whom the party assumed was dead, suddenly jumped to its feet and lunges at Jashichun, who just pulled the sword from the ground. No! I quickly get between Shichun and the monster. But if that crits, it's going to be pretty deadly, even for you. Let's see if you can make the evasion save. One and another one. Nope, that's a critical fail. It's okay. Sinclair falls to the ground, bleeding profusely from the gaping wound. The Yaguai lies still as well, the final vestiges of its strength completely spent. Oh my gosh, she changed! Right too! Sinclair! Go on without me. Take that sword and go down to the village. Become the leader they need. That sword as your proof. No. This sword wouldn't mean anything without my adventuring buddy. I'm going to bandage Sinclair up and carry him back. I won't leave him behind and descend the mountain all on my own. Wait, if that's your choice, then, yeah, the bleeding stops as soon as you wrap him up. He's just that sturdy, you know? That strike would have killed pretty much anyone, but you know how healthy he is. On your feet, Sinclair. We're getting out of here together. Grab onto my shoulder. That's it, step by step. Hey, Shichun, look over there. Everyone we helped and saved on our journey is out to welcome us home. You're right. If it weren't for you, Sinclair, I never would have stopped and talked to every single villager there to hear their troubles. The sword was only a symbol all along. All of our efforts and the experiences we gained in our journey for the sword were what taught me to be a good leader. Not the sword itself. You're right. The real success of this adventure was everyone's efforts along the way. I feel like the game overtook the class at some point along the way. He's an expert now. Oh, now I can choose whatever. Okay, let's do these. And so far for my combos, I've only unlocked for the first 3 sinners. Oh, there's an upgrade for Gregor. Oh, there's the fast forward button. That's cute. 157, 260. They all have same stats. Oh, their morale is pretty bad, huh? How do we increase the morale? Oh, Mersault! Hello. And then we have Ishmael. I don't even know if that's gonna combo. In regards to every activity, involvement of unnecessary emotions and personal judgment is to be wasteful. I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that. Then I will share an excerpt from Sinclair's exchange with the manager 32 days ago. Begin quote. Huh? 32 days ago? What? Oh my gosh! Excuse me, Dante. I'm sorry to have ask you this, but most of us are fatally wounded, so can you please turn the clock just one more time? End quote. Unnecessary interjections weighed down your quest. Wow, that's pretty bad. Did I really stutter that badly? It's a waste of time to involve emotions when delivering unfavorable news. The same message could have been delivered with merely 2 words. We failed. Let us commence field practice. Do not ask me a single question for the next 5 minutes. Huh? Well, okay. Sure seems easy enough. Ugh. Suddenly Mersault let out a cry as he clutched his chest and fell to the floor. Are you okay? Mersault, you okay? His eyes snapped open. Task failed. 5 minutes have not passed. You're cheating! This reminds me of the incident Sinclair had so desperately wished to hide. What? The what who wished to what? Despite your belief that no one could ever find out your secret, those wonders. What? Come on, just what did you see? Failed again. Took the class. They're in a bad mood. Oh, never mind. Their mood is okay. Wait, this is literally one move. Okay. Ooh, upgrade. And then I want to boost my morale. So, and then I will also bring in Don Quixote. Maybe there's a combo with those two. Oh, 9 to 5 is a combo. What's 9 to 5? Oh, Ishman Mersault. I see. Oh, there is a... Oh my gosh, there is a combo with Mersault and Dawn. Okay, nice. The morning papers. Very appropriate. Tip-top morale, yay! Okay, Donkey and Mersault. We have Otis and maybe... Ooh, let's include Gregor. And then after that, we would have... Wait, what? I forgot to check what stats I need. I need more Young. Gregor is giving me the Young.
Guess I bring back Ishmael again, huh? Oh yeah, these two might have a combo because of their relationship. Attention! Today's lesson will cover intelligence acquisition. In other words, men, you will learn how to gain information from people.
Hey, I'm pretty good at that. You just have to turn them to your side. By being generous with my spending, by setting a good example as a superior, they'll eventually open up.
Foolishness!
Huh?
That is among the worst strategies I ever had the displeasure of hearing. Do you not see how wasteful it is to spend a limited military budget? How wasteful it is to spend so much precious time trying to butter them over? The most efficient means of obtaining intelligence is torture. Torture?
I'd say that's the worst strategy I've ever had the displeasure of hearing. I'd rather not waste my clan strength on something so utterly useless like that. Besides, if you end up accidentally killing them...
Foolishness, foolishness!
Jeez, can you stop saying that word?
How simplistic and disappointing. Your imagination falls short if that is all you can think of when you hear the word torture. Then this unit. This isn't exactly a military unit. Then this Hongwan may indeed be upon your ability to lead.
Well, I'm waiting. Get on with your lesson. The mention of Hongwen seemed to put Sichin in a thoughtful mood, as she stopped arguing and began focusing on class.
The most effective method of torture isn't physical. Things like waterboarding, electrocution are all inferior. Today, you will learn the torture of language. With this method, you will always find the answer you want. Use speechcraft to entrap their minds, slowly constrict around them, and let them take brief sighs of relief every time they give you an answer. That, cadets, is what you will be learning today. To your positions, cadets! Oh my gosh, did they fall? Ooh. Okay, both of them, yep. Okay, our morale is consistently high.
Ooh, okay, day 2.
Not day 2.
Midterm exam 2.
So I hear you defeated Shihazan Huajin. You would do best not to let that get to your head. He's always been our family's greatest shame.
Hey, watch yourself. How did you learn not to underestimate the family underdogs?
What?
Oh, you don't know? You see, I managed to talk Shihashan into, you know...
What? No, it can't be. He cannot have spilled the beans on my parents.
My men are already on their way.
But how did you know it was Block 32? I barely managed to get them a hiding spot there.
Oh, so it's Block 32.
Did you just...
I did. Huh. That was way easier than it was during class.
I've heard stories about how you've changed. I didn't know you had changed into such a heartless woman.
Say something, damn it. Don't just stand there completely expressionless and... Oh, I see. You won't be shaken by silly little things like this, is that it? That may befit the seat of the hierarch. However, a leader who responds with silence to their inferiors, a leader who considers them only disposable tools, is bound to rot. I, Sijing, refuse to let someone so unqualified such as yourself retain power. You can do it, Sichin!
망설이지 않고 한 번. 조금씩 아픔.
What was that skill pop-up? I don't think that was there before.
Good job.
Damn it, I was so close.
Did you ever really take the time to think about what might happen if Big Sister Yuan-chin actually gained control of Hongwen? Sure, it's gonna be all buddy-buddy at first. She's going to acknowledge the authority of the board of directors, butter you up, and compensate you for your efforts. But soon you're going to see people from other nests coming in here and taking up administrative positions under the guise of advisors. And it's the small families and clans that are going to suffer first. And when that time comes, I bet you'll be saying the same thing then. I was so close. It's going to be a while before other members of your family are let go. You know this already. They committed treason, thinking they were piggybacking off Big Sister Yuan-chin's forces, when in reality, she had already discarded them before it even began. She has made sure that nothing about this treason's going to stick to her.
Mother, father.
Now let's think about this carefully, about Zhao Yuan-chin's vision for Dangguan Lian. Will it be more H Corp or Q Corp?
I see the point you're making. But you've not given us any reason to trust you either. What guarantee do I have that you won't just toss us aside when we are no longer useful?
So, about that hiding place where you put your parents you just accidentally let slip. I'd known their whereabouts for a while, actually. My Heisho had identified their location long ago, but I didn't do anything because there wasn't any evidence that pointed to your parents' involvement.
Is that true?
Just how low is your opinion of the hierarch? Big Sister Yuan-chin made a big show of her own influence at the assembly, but I still have a tight control over the Heisho of the family hierarch.
But I thought you were arresting every member of the Shi family without even questioning them.
What was it again? The leaders must take good care of those who are in the same boat as them? Why would any hierarch go around arresting innocent people of H Corp left and right, unnecessarily making more enemies for themselves? I sure don't plan on doing that.
Shoo! Wait, taking care of...
Hi, Yoshi. Hi. Hi. Hi, Shin. I missed you. Wow. Hi.
TKT. WK. Teaching kids to deal with kids, she says.
Looks like your manager's not the only one who needs a translator.
I would have liked to teach a particularly bloody art class, but that AL black hair discarded my lesson plan. Yeah, no, I don't think your lesson plan would have flown even if Zilu wasn't there, artless or otherwise. In today's class, I'll SY and C if you're a UA.
What?
But I'll scan if you're a UC.
Huh?
I'll snap your neck completely if you're an unruly adult. But I'll soothe, coax, and nurture you if you're an unruly child!
Did you guys rehearse this or something? Am I getting pranked right now?
No, not at all. Just listen carefully. Evaluate the context, and there you have it.
What context? What context was I supposed to evaluate?
Let the art do the talking. MTL, kids. Ah, yeah, there's much to learn. Class is about to begin. Bring the class material, attendant. Yes. Upon the venerable family hierarch's orders, I have brought a child from the Wang family.
Why student? No, wait, what? You brought a who from a what family upon whose orders?
Too many travel restrictions here, so I borrowed the rich kid's attendant.
You've been bringing her along to get you to places, huh? No, I mean just, what do you mean you brought that kid on my orders?
Yoshi snuffed out her cigarette, opened the window to clear out the smoke, dusted off her clothing, and only brought the child to the elevated platform in front of the class. Okay, calm down. It's not yet her canto. It's not yet her event to shine. It's not yet the event that is the prologue. to her account. Hi! The kid's kinda trembling and anxious looking.
I extend my greetings to the venerable hierarch.
That kid's scared out of his mind. Oh, it's a he, sorry. Memories of childhood are important. They're the experiences that shape your future. Observe and learn. What's up with you acting serious all of a sudden? Though I do agree that childhood memories are... Content, no, mommy rushing, no, mother! My memories with Big Brother Bao Yu are what... Anyways, moving on, you heard nothing. The point is, I think becoming approachable to kids here might help prevent a lot of potential future conflicts. But you've got your work cut out for you. Children of Daiguanyan are extremely wary of anyone who's not their immediate family. Even worse, you're pretty much tricked that kid here using my name. He must be terrified, and I imagine his parents must have given him a whole lot of warnings too. I'll give you a demonstration. Behold. FC Flawless Class! Oh my gosh! Wow, he's really taken a liking to her. Yeah, he wouldn't stop crying when we tried to get him to calm down. Besides, how's she's even doing that with her hands? Not even masters of martial arts move like that. Roshi was practically giving him no time for any other distractions, or even a moment to cry. She was taking care of that kid almost effortlessly. She was employing all kinds of tactics, including but not limited to ventriloquism kongshu, a traditional Hongwan toy, fan tricks, sugared fruits, and eventually... Don't pull too hard. The child ended up piggybacking on Roshu, the fear he showed earlier gone without a trace. Never would I imagine Roshu would be good at this. Neat. And with the exact same expression as her usual run, Roshu was gently caressing the child, well, to be more exact, she was giving him a gentle pat. But I think I get it. Showering kids with tasty stuff and gifts isn't the best way to go about it. What's important is helping them understand just what kind of person I am. Yeah, the kid's really on edge for his age. I'd start to make some progress, but whenever he suspected that I was lying or something, he'd immediately go back to being on guard. That's also because he's a Daiguanyan kid. Kids don't survive this place for long if they're not quick on the uptake.
Venerable hierarch, may I ask you something?
Well, asking's free, but I gotta tell you, it's going to depend on what you're about to ask whether I can help you or not.
Huh?
Wrong move, Rookie Hierarch. Why say that when TWDT? You don't get the immaculacy of second abbreviations. Yoshi grabbed the child's shoulders, brought him before Joshi-chun, then, in her usual curtness, spoke precisely 2 words to the confused child, and that seemed to do the trick. Speak, kid.
It's my big sis said when the family hierarchy wears over, I can finally play tons with friends. But their parents told her to stay outside because it's too dangerous outside. My cousin says you're the biggest and baddest of Hongwen, Venerable Hierarch. So, I wanted to ask if you can make Daiguanyan safe? I want to play with my friends.
Gotcha. I'll review your suggestion positively. She says she'll totally make that happen. Aww. Sometime later, after Shirin guided the child out of the classroom, I found Joshi-chun whispering something to herself. You've got a lot on your plate, huh? Dealing with restructuring days is just one of them. I was going to try to improve the safety of this place anyway, whether he asked me to or not. Safe enough for a kid like that to run around the market all on his own, a place where he doesn't have to be afraid to go outside. There's no bonus with Russia? Really? Interesting. What other combination should I try?
Oh, there it is. Take axe. All about the poker face? Ooh, interesting. Okay, I wanna use Isang and Honglu. Maybe they're a combo. I'm basing these combos on ships, I guess you can say. Oh, now their stats are different because of the bonuses. Okay.
You know something? Everyone communicates with their eyes even before they talk. So you better pay attention to what their eyes are saying.
Oh, mahjong! Great, that's really great, but I don't know. It just kind of feels like an oddly specific subject to be talking about, especially when we're sitting around a gambling table. Oh my gosh, my mom, I actually grew up having a mahjong like set, but I didn't know that it was like expensive. It was made out of ivory. I just played it like it was building blocks. I didn't know the value of that. Oh my gosh, and now me and my mom are trying to get a mahjong set because we want to play. Oh, I want to play mahjong. If only my little kid self wasn't so stupid.
Sinclair? Given the time limit, this just happened to be the fastest and clearest method of demonstrating and training your abilities to control your emotions. I swear, I had no other ulterior motive. I was practically forced to do this. Wei, stop glaring at us like that and join us at the table.
I am only briefly visiting my lady to pick up some paperwork, as there is still much work to be done. I'll be leaving in no time.
Come on, guy. You know this game needs 4 players.
I refuse your invitation. I must say, it's ridiculous of you to force my lady to partake in such a base activity. And what audacity to invite me as well.
Oh, so you think you don't have a chance, huh? Wow, and here I thought you'd at least be better than me at this game. Fine, I get it. Don't play a game you have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. It's a good philosophy. I subscribe to it.
Do you seriously think your shallow, obvious attempts at goading me into playing this game will work?
Huh? What? Sorry, Scrub says what?
So Wei joined in the table!
Alrighty, the lesson's very straightforward. You 3 will work together to ensure that I don't win this game. In other words, make sure I'm not number 1 by the end of it.
Well, that seems easy enough.
But be warned, I have this special power to read into your minds without hearing even a word out of your mouths. Let me give you a demonstration. Let's see. Sinclair, I can see the corners of your lips twitching while your eyes are suspiciously wandering over there. You're looking to form a peng, aren't ya?
Oof!
And Chichin, you... And you want this dong tile I've got. Now I know to never ever discard this tile.
How did you know? Honestly, it would have been tougher for us not to know.
You can let yourself be anxious, sure, but don't ever let it peek through. The moment someone smells your weakness, they're going to eat you right up. And Wei, you... Using the glint of your glasses to hide your eyes, huh? Ooh, this isn't going to be easy.
Your greatest mistake tonight was allowing me a seat at this table. I already know the ready hand you've got there.
Oh, you do? Not bad. You're just as much of an open book, my guy. You just need that one junk tile, don't ya? Sorry, not sorry. You're not getting that tile, cause it's not there.
Gang.
Oh my gosh, what is going on? I'm scared.
I see. You called Gang Meld so you can claim the Zhong, which was the rearmost tile, didn't you? Does that by any chance imply that you could somehow know the location of every tile in this game?
Nah, no way. I just have the sixth sense for bad vibes.
Very well. Never once did I think I would ever step back into this dark world of shadows, but... Hup! Very well then. I'll be setting this Hua aside, and...
Oh, I'm impressed. They're way too intense. I can hardly get involved. Guys, isn't this supposed to be a class for us?
Shh, my lady.
The importance of this moment could not be overstated.
I see. Swapped out your ready hand, didn't ya?
What do you think?
3 Hua tiles in a row, huh? I see you've got some innate luck too.
Oh my gosh, there was also a Love Live Mahjong set, wasn't there? I want that so badly! But I don't know how to play. I just know what they feel like and how they're fun to throw around as a child because they make a nice sound.
Very well then. I'll have to wager it all on this one suite.
I won! Who? That's a Jing Yao Chu hand! Your downfall was certain the moment you forced me to discard Zhong.
Ah, darn. I lost that, huh?
Well played. Did you see that, my lady? Who? I apologize for that vulgar display, my lady. I will bring some tea. Wait, Victoria stumbles out of the room with his shoulders slumped. Oh, he's embarrassed.
I didn't just learn how to hide my feelings, I learned how to make whatever expressions I want. Finally won a round against Roja. Oh yes, what it needs is kindness. Courage to confront. Yeah, Yisong and Honglu. Learn to be more true to myself.
Oh yeah, I already read that.
Okay, let's see. I want to unlock more combos. Who have I not tried yet? Maybe Asian Trio. Maybe I should try the Asian Trio. Wait, maybe I can remove Honglu. Oh wait, no, I already unlocked Honglu and Yisong, right? I did. Donkey Roshu. Yes, I did. Okay, Asian Trio unlocked. Wait, no. These two, not yet. And then maybe I can include Raja into the mix? I don't know, this is weird. Weird combo, but I'm gonna go for it. There's no combo for that. 0 combos! Interesting. Hello? Ah, there it is. Oh, there's an upgrade. I don't. Fine, I'll get the upgrade. What are combos I haven't tried? Yisong and Otis, I guess. And, Ishmael. No, Ishmael already got her chance. Donkey. So much Ren. I've probably too much Ren, actually. Yeah, the Ren is at the 500 mark. Hariki Teika! I heard from Big Bro that you send your coins to Big Brother Chu.
Every hand, once in circulation, goes round and round until it eventually returns to their original owners.
I also heard that some of the Wang family helped with removing the foreign powers from here. Why?
I only wanted to prevent this place from getting robbed blind. I live here, you know. This is where my wealth lies.
Well then, can I ask for your public support?
Oh, I applaud your audacity in thinking someone who just gave you the moon should be asked for the stars as well. Everyone and their mother knows in whose hands the true political power of Hongwen lies right now. With that in mind, let's say that I do announce my public support for you. I'm not going to have a voice to speak with by the time the powers that be are done with me.
Look, if Big Sis Yan-chan genuinely believes that I'm not fit to be the family hierarch, then I'll happily remove myself from power. But she's affiliated with Q Corp. Do you seriously believe she has the Hongwen's best interest at heart with all those conspiracies she's been weaving under the surface? All those business deals and clearly skewed policies?
I do not. But if you're going to present yourself as the alternative, and you have to be someone concrete enough to rely on. Let me just say that about half of the board of directors' votes may as well be considered abstaining votes. They're keeping their silence because they're afraid of Jia Wenchun's retaliation. So your remaining task is to convert those silent votes in your favor. Hey, didn't this happen in reverse 1999 too? Oh, not shaken by that at all, huh? I thought you'd get that lost and wondering look in your eyes.
I guess I'll have to work on my poker face.
No, most people would have failed to pick that up. You've certainly changed since the evaluation. Your crutch shows a lot of promise. Maybe that's why he handed his coins over to you. Well, I guess that's not the only thing he handed over to you, I suppose. Hung wins tomorrow. Anyways, I should probably do as I'm told for now, My cousin will be your opponent today. I won't accept you as my hierarch just yet. Fight me and prove that you're at least better than I am. Only then I'll accept you. Let's go!
조금씩 아픈 봉황의 날개처럼 다른 누구도 아닌 나 자신을 들여다봐야 해. 그 해결사의 역경에 비하면
What? Do you have something to say to my face?
Yeah, don't give my little brother your crap.
Your little brother?
You know who I'm talking about. Do you have any idea of the mess you left behind when you yoinked that kid away? That buzzcut kid was her little brother. Oh, that's oh my gosh, woman, okay.
You can barely even hold on to your seat, which you're about to lose soon anyway. And you have to go to give him false hope? I know it's all just politics to you, but kids really believe, you know? I heard from the kid that you seemed relieved upon hearing what I said. Told me you were happy for once to hear that he had a fun time, after being barred from playing with his friends with how things are in Hongwan. Shut up. Besides, it's not all just hot air.
What?
I wasn't making an empty promise when I said I will change Hongwan to be a place where everyone can live without fear. And for that, I'm going to protect my seat of power, no matter what it takes.
You'll fail.
Not with you on my side. We all know what Big Sister Yan Chen's Hongwen looks like. It'll be exactly the same in essence, and will be the same for the foreseeable future. Tell me, are you sure you're okay with handing over that same burden we've carried all our lives to your little siblings?
No, of course not.
Wang Qinshan left in a hurry, but that look in her eyes told me that there was conflict brewing in her.
Ooh, Heathcliff. Okay, let's bring out Raja and Ishmael. Maybe they're gonna be a combo. What? Why does he have a big hammer? Right, lads, listen up. This ain't gonna be like them boring old classes you've been sitting through. You've got to leave the desk behind once in a while to learn some real-life lessons, yeah? Right, so here's the deal. You want to break their morale before the brawl even begins.
Brawl?
Learn this by heart and you'll be kicking those twats' arses left and right and center.
That's not exactly what I'm looking for.
So, Heathcliff, I've got to ask this question. Something about your club seems different today. Looks a lot more colorful too. Bullock's lads catches on quick. That way bloke said something about how swinging on around a real club might come as far too threatening and confiscated it. That high-tech weapon cries boop when it hits people. I see. Oi, don't you underestimate me just cause I'm holding a different bludgeon. Let's get on with it. Straighten your shoulders, eyes wide open, let's get cracking. With that, Heathcliff triumphantly raised his newfound weapon towards the sky and made a small poof noise. That's cute. Oh, there is a, yeah, Champagne, okay. Nothing with Roger. Huh. Okay, any combos I'm missing? Heathcliff and who did he have a nice time with? Yusang? Heathcliff and Yusang and I don't know. Isha, Heathcliff. Maybe Honglu. I have no idea. Yep, family matters. I have so much Ren. Great stick. Oh. That's it? Oh, hey. Why are you here? Anyway, Heathcliff and someone, huh? I need someone to boost the morale. Maybe Don Quixote. This class. After an uncharacteristic pause, Silu continue. Will be taught by a guest lecturer who has been invited for your tutelage. A guest lecturer? But I wasn't informed of this. Where are they? I don't know. Maybe they're lost? A little bird told me that the venerable hierarch will give me a bottle of top-notch cloudy wine straight from Daguanuan's brewer. Ooh. There any truth to that, folks? That guy! Just stopping by to see if I can leech some liquor at this party. Hongwen's an awfully miserly place. But you'd spare a shot of liquor for this poor old drifter, won't you? Well, you're clearly not just any poor old drifter. Are you guys acquainted? He ambushed us in our room after the first round of the family hierarch war was over. He what? The family hierarch war's been over for a while, and everyone in Hongwen knows who the winner is. How dare a mongrel like you, who only knows how to mooch off their other families, set foot in here? Looks like I'm going to have to give him my clandestine talking to. How could they let slip a drunk assassin like? Haha! I see that our youthful hierarch is plenty suspicious. I've been a guest in many places, but please, I'm no moocher. Put your worries to rest. I'm only a drunkard who enjoys a cool swig of liquor with the scenic landscapes as my bar, the sky as my ceiling, and the dirt as my bed. The man who had introduced himself as the night drifter of the Drunken Palm leaped down, landing with dexterity that betrayed the rags he wore as clothing and the terrible stench of liquor emanating from him. Is he seriously? Bad news, Miss Sitchin. Apparently Zhao Yunchin's bestowed upon you a new master. Huh? Big Sister Yunchin? She also wanted us to deliver the message that she was sending a master because, and I quote,
I feel a deep sense of trepidation and pity for my dearest little sister, the neophyte hierarch, who must be struggling left and right without a proper master. Wow, I am beside myself with gratitude. So that's the supposed teacher, this mysterious guy with a mysterious allegiance who might stab us in the back at any time? As you said, the family hierarchy war is over, and even mongrels of Hongguan know who has the legitimacy here. The incident during the contest was nothing more than business, a job to take care of in return for what compensation they gave me. I hope you don't carry that grudge in your heart. I'm sure you didn't harm your rivals in the family hierarchy war out of personal vendetta, did ya? Sometimes business is just business. I killed young Master Bao Yu, for they promised to pay off in my bar tab, and I'm here to give the hierarch a lesson, for they promised to pay off my future tabs. Huh. There's nothing to be gained by taking your anger out on a gig worker you live in hand to mouth like myself, don't you think? I'll advise that the optics and the consequences of rejecting a master sent to us by Jia Yuan-chin herself is not going to look too good. I know, it's only going to make me look worse, and I'd rather not give Big Sister Yuan-chin more ammunition to take me down. And you there, will have eyes tracking your every move, so don't do anything that might rouse unnecessary suspicion.
Ain't that a threat? I can hardly taste the wine before such hostility.
Despite Sot's dead serious warning, the Night Drifter's response was only a hearty chortle.
Before I begin the lesson, I'd like to get an idea of where my to-be pupils are. Now give me a demonstration, if you will. Swing away. Aha, that's enough.
But I didn't. I was just getting started.
Your form is flawed and your breathing is hollowed. Need I say more? Flawed forms often invite flawed hearts. In other words, your martial arts prowess is amateurish.
What the heck? Is this guy serious? I have never had a single master who had anything bad to say about my form.
Your arms are straight and the legs supporting your stance are solid and sturdy indeed. Most masters would not bother themselves to find fault there. But let me pose this question. Are you, my venerable pupil, satisfied with martial arts that are made to dispatch unskilled peasants and no more?
Huh?
There is more to this than raw strength. Now take a swing at me instead.
Alright, you asked for it. Jia takes a powerful swing at the Night Drifter.
Your mind outpaces your body, your intent more transparent than a glass globe. And your edge is dull, for it has very little heart for feints.
But he deftly weaves his way between her strikes, which failed to even touch the tip of his ragged cloak.
You're far too eager to strike. Focus singularly on your opponent, with force distributed unevenly across your body. So, you will fail to cut, and gain a little hole as comeuppance.
Then the Night Drifter pokes Jiaxin's back with a twig. Everyone vying for the seat of the family hierarch has to go through it eventually. The first kill. Some say the earlier the better. Mine was when I was 13. Not too early, not too late. Just right. It's already been a few years since my foolish brother's locked himself in his chamber. Last I heard, he was bedridden for a week after ingesting some poison someone had sent to prank him. I'm not going to live like that dumbass.
Try to relax your body, won't you? You have a weapon, yes, but one wasn't singularly focused on the opponent. Do try to reflect upon yourself and relax. Let the unnecessary strength go. Let it flow out of your body. Tensing up as you do will naturally shrink your mind and narrow your vision.
Hey, wait. Should I send Big Bro a silver spoon or something? It wasn't that bad this time, but what if they gave him a way worse poison next time?
You know young Master Bao Yu won't accept your gift, my lady. I doubt he's even seeking the culprit now.
So stupid. Zero interest in anything practical. Zero ambition. What a silly, pathetic attitude to have. Just how...
But my lady, it wasn't practicality that guided you when you chose to save my life over maintaining our control over the Wu branch. Some seek the state of Anana, the non-self, But what they seek is the path of Asura, reserved for the likes of blade fiends. You must learn to let go of everything, except for the self. What kind of life is it to live without stepping over others? Let all go. Gazes, the pressures, all of it. Instead, face yourself and only yourself. And feel how light it all becomes. After some thought, Sichin's form visibly relaxes. It wasn't just her form that relaxed. Her pursed lips seems to have found peace as well. She's got it. Well then, what should we do about you, my overconfident, proud pupil? Will you maintain your grave and cocky silence? I wasn't being cocky. If my memories haven't failed me yet, you're one of young Master Jiao Baoyu's underlings, correct? Underling, yeah. However you want to call it, I guess. Sinclair replied with a resigned sigh. Just why do you think it was that you, specifically you, among his 12 underlings, were chosen to take this class alongside the young hierarch? Sinclair momentarily flashed a flustered expression, taken off guard by the stranger's sudden pointed question, but he soon regained his composure and replied, Well, who else besides me would ever go along these lesson plans? Don Quixote is going to ditch the classes out of boredom, same goes for Radia, and Otis will try to take over the classes. Not to mention what it'd be like to have Heathcliff here and... Such a loquacious list of excuses. Struck a nerve, did I? How come you know so little about yourself? Even less than what I have already learned about you. What are you talking about? A bird that has failed to break its shell in time will rot it within its confines. I still don't understand what you're talking about. Even as he said so, Sinclair's expression seemed more like anxiety than confusion to me. Prepare yourself to flit away before the rain. You won't get another chance, should you miss the opportunity. Then the night drifter giggled flippantly, the suddenly serious attitude nowhere to be seen. Been a while since I let myself babble on for this long. I suppose I can credit my foolish pupils for that. Prepare to swing away. The night drifter's moves are so confusing to follow, not to mention the pungent smell of alcohol making me dizzy. There's no combo with Don Quixote and Heathcliff? Why? Okay, let me check. Any other combos I'm missing out on? Heathcliff definitely. Ichmal, he had one with Yisang, no? Yeah, Heathcliff and Yisang. He doesn't have one with Dawn. Heathcliff and Raja. And I guess this dude. Actually, no, I'll bring in Rushu. Because why not? There is a combo with Rushu and Heathcliff? That is interesting. Okay, no relationship. Okay, Heathcliff, Otis Mersault? Nothing. Otis and Mersault. Okay, I haven't unlocked all of them and that bothers me. Damn, am I glad I got my head screwed back on. It's a precious sight to watch everyone all freaking out about this child's play.
All of this news I've been hearing since I opened my eyes in the recovery room sound very enticing. I really wish I was there to watch it all. Have the family heads getting arrested for treason. The seat of the family hire going to some inexperienced kid from the Jia family. Not to mention how my lovely little sister had her engagement called off, and how she's now been branded as a traitor to her own blood. All the entertainment in the world seems to have happened during my little nap, don't you think? You didn't even show your face at the regular assembly, so I doubt you've any concern for the future of Hongwen. So just what are you doing here? I just thought I'd have some fun!
Okay. Shefan, I think?
중요한 건 내가 어떤 사람인지 알게 하는 거. 동안이 날개처럼. 그 해결사의 역경에 비하면 조금씩 아픔.
Is she staggered? Please no.
다른 누구도 아닌
She's not staggered.
나
Good.
자신을 들여다봐야 해.
Why stop now? Decapitate me like my last death, or stab me in the heart, cut my limbs to ribbons! Listen, this duel is just a spar, okay? We don't have to kill each other for this to end. Now isn't this frustrating? You have the opportunity of a lifetime right before your eyes, and you're too weak to use it. You have everyone who fights you on every step of your way coming to you, practically presenting their heads on a silver platter, and you're just gonna let them slink away with all these scratches? Get your act together. Family hierarchy war's over, and I'm not going to kill someone just because they're being a bit uncooperative. Get real! Do you have any idea how long it will take for you to gain even a morsel of power by playing this fool's game? Hey! Want to hear a little tip on how you can firmly establish your position as the family hierarch? Kill me in the most horrible, painful, hideous way you can imagine. And hang my corpse by the entrance of that assembly hall over there. Use me to send a clear message. And station every single one of your Heisho packs between every pillar at the assembly hall. And if anyone dares to speak out against you, snip! Chop off their head before they can get another word out. 5 days. It'll only take 5 days before everyone starts eating out of your hand. And that's how you establish yourself as the hierarch. Fear is power. No, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm here to make Hongwen a place where its people can live without fear. I thought you of all people might understand. I remember how you used to hate hurting people, more so than anyone else. Man, what a boring answer. That was duller than even my dullest expectations. It'll only take a few years until you break, until you become just like them.
just like the family hierarchs of the past who couldn't help but ruthlessly weed out any seeds of resistance. Just how many people here do you think still have any grip on their sanity? Maybe I'm only a few years away from becoming an idiot shuffling aimlessly around Dangguanyan. I can only hope that I won't be a slobbering mess by the time that happens. If something entertaining is gonna happen, I can only hope that it happens while I'm still sane. Shrepan sauntered away, but Jia Shichun found it difficult to move on. Excellent work, my lady. You have passed the 4th exam with flying colors. You've certainly crushed them for underestimating you. I am... Hey, new pose? My lady? Jia Shichun seems deeply engrossed in thought. $25 days. Oh, what? Okay, I guess she does need to rest. My lady seems to be in a particular mood today. It's all useless, isn't it? Shichun? When these classes and you guys all leave, I guess I'll be spending my days worried to death that an assassin could pop out of nowhere and kill me at any moment. Consumed by so much paranoia and worry that I'll start twitching at shadows cast from the lamplights. So would it mean anything for me to, you know, prove to them that I deserve to be the family hierarch? I've spent my whole life trying to prove to everyone that I have the will and determination to become the family hierarch, and now I have to prove that to everyone that I deserve to keep it? To those bastards whose only thought in their empty heads is how they can expand their rooms? Master Wei, have you ever heard of playing hooky before? Playing hooky? Is it euphemism for eliminating your enemies? Well, I've rarely done it back when I was in school, but when there's too much going on in your head, you just skip school and go out to play. Oh. I've only done it once myself after a friend talked me into it. I agree. It seems that the time for my lady to clear her head has come. Very well, let us play. Just one hooky. What are you guys doing? Come on, let's get moving. I gotta prove myself, don't I? I gotta have those bastards' approval, don't I? She's in a really bad mood today, huh? My lady, have you visited the backyard in the Lucia Hermitage as of late? No, but I know what happened there. They threw in a few dead bodies from the massacre a decade ago, turned the pond foul, and decided to bury the whole thing. Indeed they did. The stench was so overwhelming and toxic that corpses of animals and plants could be seen floating on its surface, eventually turning the pond into a festering black bog. People passing by had to plug their noses or risk passing out. So why even bring up something awful like that? It seems that a tree had taken root there, my lady, amidst all that rot. A willow. The willow tree reached deep into the pond with its roots, clearing it of the foul grease, cleansing the water. And one day, we found it clear and glittering, thriving with other aquatic plants growing within. It's recovered from the rot, becoming a normal, clear pond, surrounded by leaves and mosses. Some months ago, they introduced a few carps in there, and when they checked again, they were just as vivacious as they were on the first day there. Would you like to pay the pond a visit? If it is alright with you? Shichun didn't seem to quite buy his explanation, but she followed him anyway. You weren't kidding! I avoided this place for so long. Oh my gosh, we triggered rest and recreation! I never thought it could be this clean again. I can hardly believe that this pond used to be a rotten bog. All that happened was that this tree just happened to take root here. What matters, my lady, is patience and determination. Of course, this place had slipped my mind then, as I was quite swamped with work, but the world has a stronger capacity to heal itself than one might imagine. Recovery will follow, as long as there is a steady root to rally around. After a long break that seemed to freshen even our hearts. Nice, you're making some good progress. Your form, the light in your eyes, I think you've certainly improved in all aspects.
I dare say you've had some change of heart, too. Yeah, I do feel a tad more comfortable than I did before.
Oh yay, they have a combo. Oh wait, no, I already unlocked it. Dang it. Heathcliff, Merce. I need more, like, what do you call this? Ji and Yang. Right, class. Here's a new task to help you lot to learn how to break your enemy's morale. The moment you shrink in front of your enemies, you've already lost, so don't. It don't matter how many there are or how threatening they look, yeah? Take me for example. Have I ever turned tail and fled like some milksop, no matter what enemy we were put up against? I don't think you ever have. Leave it to the nerds to waste time coming up with strategies and what have you. Listen, there ain't a problem in the world you can't solve by boldly rushing in head first. Ishmael noticed would have boldly rushed in headfirst to shake him by his lapels if they'd been here. Here's what I think. Neither of you got enough pluck. That's why neither of you could stay shite against those buggers back at the assembly hall. Am I right?
Joshi-chan maintained her silence, the old scar in her pride growing sore again.
So let me help you lot grow some backbone. Try getting mad at me. No need to shrink, lad. Stand proud. Well, okay, but how could I... Don't worry about offending me, yeah? I can take it. Unlike you two, I built enough thick skin for all kinds of insults thanks to my years in the backstreets. I'm bloody invincible. Yeah? Well, shut up, Heathcliff. Good, lad. You're hardly even a teacher, man. This class sucks. All you're doing up there is standing around and trying to look cool. Oh, that one's gotta sting a little. That's it, you little shite. Is what I would have said back in the day. And I probably would have struck you with this hammer. I mean, my club. I've changed too. And so did you. I can see that the fire in your eyes has grown. Remember the ceiling, yeah? I will. Now let's practice. And it looks like both of you have some perfect sparring partner in each other. Grab your weapons, the both of you. Huh? You mean us? Me and Sichin? I grew my backbone by getting into fistcuffs with the boys during my backstreet days. They break my arm, I break their legs in return. See what I mean?
Is that what besties is supposed to mean?
Joshi-chan asked with considerable confusion. Well, let's do this, I guess.
You don't want me to go easy on you, do you?
I don't. Oh! We're fighting him!
내가 어떤 사람인지 알게 하는 거. 그 해결사의 역경에 비하면
Wait, why does he have 1000 HP? That's not Sinclair. I don't remember him ever having 1000 HP.
전부 돈다고. 다른 누구도 아닌 나 자신을 들여다봐야 해.
Maybe our theory of Sinclair getting replaced in Count to 5 is true.
지도자라면 동료를 포기하지 않아.
Alright, that's good enough. Bloody hell, lad, that was much closer than I thought.
Good match. Jeez, don't most people usually lose steam the longer a fight gets? What the heck was that at the end? The two of them clashed with everything they learned, and with all they learned up until the lessons began. I thought for sure that Joshua Chun would come out on top without breaking a sweat, given that Sinclair wasn't using an identity and the tough training Joshua Chun had as a family hire candidate, but perhaps thanks to the Night Drifter's teachings, or thanks to that mark on his forehead, I saw a glimpse of Sinclair I'd only seen as in a select few mirror worlds. You alright, Sinclair? Huh? Yeah. It's not like we were going at it with real weapons, and the fight ended before it got any further, thankfully, so I'm not hurt or anything. I'm feeling a bit of fever on my forehead, though. It didn't seem like Sinclair noticed a single yet clear red line that appeared on his forehead. It's not like anything bad happened when that mark manifested back in La Mancheland, but considering that Damien and Rim were the only other people who'd ever shown that mark, I couldn't help but worry a little. Hey, you ever run away from home before? Where's this coming from? Going by the way you're acting, it's clear to me that you're a homebody, but there's something behind your eyes that tells me that your life hasn't all been sunshine and rainbows. No shit. I wouldn't call it running away from home. It's more like I left home because I didn't have a choice. How did that feel? Like I was melting away into nothing. I suddenly had to face the whole terrible world all on my own, and that was so overwhelming that, well, I'm sure you can't quite commiserate. You've been on top of your game your whole life, after all. I did leave Dangguanyan by my own volition, but if I'm being honest, and here's something I never told Wei, I felt unutterably lost. There was so much that I had to do, so much responsibility. I guess neither of us were ready for the world when we left home. I feel just as lost back home, though. And there's Heathcliff too. He also left home. Some time ago, we paid a visit to the manor he grew up in. Heading home must have been pretty exciting for him. You have no idea how much of the journey back he spent gussying up and primping his hair. No, Catherine. Something just came up. Class dismissed. Oh, Kathy. Oh! Really? Fast and Heathcliff? That's such an interesting combo. Okay, it's day 27. And I need to raise these two guys. Is there anyone else with a high? I guess Roshu out of bias. Still nothing, huh? Oh, of course, the smokers! Why did I forgot? Okay, let's see. Who else did I forget? Faust and Honglu, have they ever done one together? Probably not. Wait, Honglu and Roja, did I do that? Wait, Honglu and... Oh yeah, I did. What are the other popular ships there? I can't think of any. So, are you going to teach us any techniques? Haha! It's only been a few days since your training began, yet. My other martial arts masters would teach me their secret techniques. So that's what got you two pouting all lesson. Ooh, now that's some good wine. Very well, I'm in the mood. Let me teach you a useful trick. Really? Tell me, what did I teach you to do as you swung your sticks? Forget all those things that put pressure on me and face nothing but myself and my movements.
And that's only the start of it. First, emptiness of sound. The slight friction from the tips of your toes, the ruffle of your clothes, your breasts, erase them all. Erase every ripple and echo you leave upon this world. The night drifter stands before us, but his presence becomes as hazy as a mist. Despite his wild movements, we hear nothing. Second, emptiness of form. To have a form is to provide your foes with clues to predict your next move. Forget the weapons in your hands. Forget your structured forms. Break the mold, become the flow. Let only your will remain. Randomness seeps into his movements until all semblance of pattern becomes lost. There was something clownish about his unpredictable movements, but they were also so hypnotic and floaty that Joshua Chun and Sinclair couldn't look away. Last, emptiness of mind. Try not to force the direction of your heart. Empty your desires and intentions both. Stab without thinking, penetrate without gazing. Both Joshua Chun and Sinclair's necks were marked by small imprints of the twig that pressed their skin. Both Zilu who had been standing next to me all along, had leaped a small distance away, seemingly deep in thought. And my neck hurts too. I guess I was inspired from the lesson. I wonder if this fits that saying ye song others from time to time, to lose one's nose with eyes open. Immerse yourselves. Make sure your descent is slow and gradual. You've been focusing entirely on the self with your swings thus far, so you should find it quite easy to reach the state of emptiness of mind. Didn't I say that one must take it slowly and gradually? Down to your mind already. I'd have thought you my everything. You had entered under my tutelage long ago.
Am I doing this right? No, wait. I need to relax more.
So our new hierarch has found herself the clue to the emptiness of form.
What technique is this?
It's all just movements at the end of the day. I find it entirely unnecessary to give them those flashy names. A truly secret technique should come without one. Well, it's still supposed to be our ultimate move, right? Wouldn't it be more official to give it a name? Well, in that case, hey, that's some good wine indeed. I guess I'll go with something like plastered sheep unrestrained ripples.
That name sucks.
The class comes to an end with an ultimate move that was probably named in haste. Zilu, who had been observing from the class from a distance, approaches the night drifter. Been a while since I saw someone give a lesson like this starting from its very fundamentals. Hardly can one find a pupil willing to slowly learn from the very fundamentals in a world of infinite technological advancements like the Veil. I'm only fortunate enough to have found two pupils who are indeed willing. Your gait, your tone. Were you among the 10 blades of the East? No, it seems entirely unnecessary for you to dig, as I don't quite recall putting anything on your tab. Put your futile questions to rest, for I have no answers to give. Past is like smoke. I've long emptied any history worth delving into. Yay, she's not master. Ha! Those two have a combo. Interesting. Okay, fast. I don't know. Well, I'm supposed to teach this class, but honestly, I'm not entirely sure what to do here. It's not like I can suddenly teach you guys to hear the phantoms of other people's hearts. Yeah, it's not like we can suddenly have a heart-to-heart out of nowhere, right? And that is precisely why I've installed this box called Messages from the Hearts by the door here when the lessons first began. Messages from the Hearts? The greatest strength of Messages from the Hearts is its anonymity. Here, people can anonymously share the concerns that have been eating away at them without the fear of judgment. Yeah, that seems like a great idea. I can see how everyone can be more honest about their feelings behind the mask of anonymity. The box is quite heavy. It seems that everyone's been making quite the liberal use of this. Let's see. The one on the bottom has to be the first message. Let's see what it says. Oh, I've got to ask, do those consultations even do anything? Does this mask of anonymity even do anything? Also, what's the point of these messages anyway? If you gotta whinge at their face. Well, I ain't got much else to say, so, I've got one. My neighbor next door keeps making me weird noises at night, so do something about that, yeah? Something about a smoking head over and over again. The point is, I'm getting on my nerves. If that doesn't get taken care of in a week, I'll deal with it in my own way. Deal with it how?
It's all just personal grievances.
Let's see what the next one says. Who dares harrow the executive manager with such useless, weak-minded complaints? If you're going to continue wasting the executive manager's precious time and cause them trouble, I'll personally hold you responsible for that blunder. You best prepare yourself for consequences. Wow, it's like she's right here, speaking right into my ear.
Never thought written words could cause hearing damage.
Moving on. I don't know if it's just me, but someone's probably been spying on these papers, huh? I've got proof too. I folded this piece of paper into a padlock knot shape, but whoever spied in it did a pretty bad job of replicating it. Oh, and another thing. My compass disappeared! My compass was swallowed by the sea! It's the compass I got for surviving the hellish depths of the Bella Muerte trenches. We're going to have to re-establish some house rules soon.
A theft report? Did one of you steal her compass or something?
Nah, no way. We never steal from each other, no matter how hard things get. Something troubles me. Oh, finally. Someone finally submitted a real concern here.
Oh, was it the type A wire that caused the explosion, or was it caused by replacing the clamp part from the shattering gear? Ah, the likely answer has been found. Do not concern yourselves with this message.
Well, that's that, I guess. Look, I felt like I should really share this with everyone.
This one might be something serious for once.
I can't just let this slip away like nothing happened, you know?
Yeah, I'm talking about the incident that happened aboard Mephi some time ago. Remember how someone smashed an alarm clock against Dante's head while they were sleeping? No one ended up figuring out what happened there, right?
You're going to have to bring me up to speed on this. Yeah, I don't like. Oh my gosh, he got murdered! We got murdered! Yeah, I don't know when exactly this was, but there was a loud shattering noise at night, so we all ran out to see what happened. But no one managed to find any credible clues, so I guess we just let it slide?
Anywho, then they said they were A-okay, so we just moved on from it, but I'm telling you, I saw what I saw. I saw Greg's bug arm. So here's my guess. What if he happened to lose his balance while carrying that alarm clock with one hand? You know what I mean. I'm trusting the anonymity thing on this.
Gregor, he wouldn't. The alarm clock, broken due to shock at the time of the incident, was pointing precisely at 22:32, and at that hour only 2 individuals were awake for the night watch duty.
Guys, this is turning into a whole investigation.
Around 22 o'clock, one of the 2 individuals who were on night watch duty was... Yep, Miss Frost was one of them. Huh, hey Dante, didn't you have a brief conversation with Foss that morning? Now that I think back on it, I did have a talk with Foss that day, briefly. Foss made a few criticisms on my command style, and she was right, but I pretended to not hear her because I didn't have anything to retort with. Don't tell me Foss actually held a grudge against me for that. So fellas, I don't think anyone's noticed this, but I noticed a dusting of cigarette ash near the shattered alarm clock. As you know, Manager Bud, there's only 2 among us who smoke, but one of them stayed put in his own room. You know what I mean? There's a witness too, unless that witness is a cowardly liar. I'm sure she will come forward and tell everyone exactly what happened that night.
I shall prove unto thee that I am no cowardly sweeper of lies. In truth, among numerous cosplays I had wished to accomplish was the duo of Kevin's corpse and One-Eye Navigator. Aha! To explain the lore of Kevin's corpse, this tale began verily in the year 757.
After a very long read,
Alas, the possibility of procuring a scorpion arm proved more dubious than one could have expected. Thus I did convince young Gregor to join forces with me, to cosplay together and capture our glorious forms in photographs. Though 'twas a pity he had no pipe, only a cigarette between his teeth. And young Ishmael's compass was to be cabin's trinket, and for that purpose I had briefly borrowed it from her room. Oh, borrowed? I don't know English. Oh, woe's me, for I regrettably spilled an entire can of tuna, another prop, and the compass was swallowed by its greasy juices. Despite my best efforts to restore it, the tunny aroma lingered still. I beg thy forgiveness, manager, Esquire. Well, at least we now know who took Ishmael's compass. Frustrating. TC. GWNN and MTL. Is this like a code? Sinclair, translation please. Yeah, trying to parse that from written text is usually way harder. I normally try to read the speaker's tone in the general context of her words, so unfortunately the plot thickens. Guys, are we actually going to try to find the culprit? Nausea bubbled inside me like I'd just been reminded of a persistent itch I managed to forget. It's like someone shoved a tuning fork in my head. Guys? Alright, that's it, Clockhead. Read up. I'm going to confront the Sod and tell him like it is, if there's something bugging them, instead of winging it and in his sleep. Now where is he? Hey, nice I mean, looks like this anonymous person's trying to get to the bottom of this. Dante, very well. It is I, the sinner first in the order. Apologies are in order. Ever since the incident, I could hardly lull myself to a restful sleep. In truth, it was none other than myself who pummeled your head with a clock. To explain this, one must first explore the sentence cuts off as this part of the paper has been torn off. Worry not about what exists no longer. I will not embark on a multiloquent ascribing of excuses. I write before you in shame, and express my willingness to accept any punishment you see fit to dole out. I seek nothing but your forgiveness. I can't believe the culprit was that sinner. Good thing he fessed up, but doesn't feel something off about the whole thing? What if he's trying to take the heat? But it seems to me that sinner number one doesn't want to share the story any further. Maybe it's best we not dig into it unnecessarily. Oh, hello Dante. I was taking a walk near here when I found a piece of paper somebody tore off, so I'm returning it here. Hope it finds its way to the original writer. Thus returns number one sinner's paper. This has to be the key to resolving this case. I hurriedly unfurled the paper. The truth of what transpired. You ever find yourself wondering if that crackling fire-like thing on the top of the manager's head is hot like real fire, or if it would not give off any heat? Curious, right? Don't worry about it, Isang. It's not like we have any other way to tell other than touching it ourselves. Indeed. Unproven phenomena cannot be unconfirmed without direct means of observation. They're asleep. Must have been pretty tired. Indeed. The ticking noise has shrunk in volume. It seems that we have just shared a thought. What if we were to just quickly check while the manager's asleep? Perhaps the sound of phlegm sinking past my gullet makes far too much noise for this task. Yeah, well, I'm just finding out how loud my heartbeat can get. Isang? The alarm next to the manager. It's about to go off. You have a minute at most. I shall interface with the timepiece. Look at you rats, playing a played-out prank. And that is indeed the full tale of what has transpired. Under the lens of hindsight's illumination, it would appear that I am making a secret accusation to a fellow of mine. It would be easier on my heart to simply assume the entire weight of culpability myself. And that's where it ends. The culprit was right under our noses the entire time? Sorry, Dante. I should have been upfront about it, but Otis was so adamant about utterly punishing the culprit that I couldn't bring myself to, you know? Can't deny that.
tell you the truth in time. To tell you another truth, I think I might have an idea as to why I've been made a student alongside Miss Si-jun. There must have been something that the company was expecting from me, but it's just not showing up, so they must be making me take these classes to compensate for it. Everyone else is boldly facing their own issues and slowly overcoming them. I don't think Rodya is. While I'm still here, feeling like I'm stagnating in place. They've been telling me that my time's yet to come, but I don't know. I just get the feeling that the ship might have sailed for me already. It was clear to me that Sinclair wasn't talking about physical training or his combat prowess. It's about something more than half the sinners had faced and were facing at this point, about his past and the path that lies ahead. The guilt and the pressure of having failed to confront it was never going to be easy for him to let go. I don't think anyone's got the perfect idea of how the whole trajectory of their lives is going to be. That's why we're all on the bus, isn't it? You know, you can just shout at me to get my act together like Heathcliff does. Oh, I will, if I have to.
Whatever that was, you guys managed to talk it out, huh? All I heard was that ticking noise.
Ah, sorry about that. What Andre said was,
Hey, don't bother. I just needed a quick glance at that look on your face to feel that tick-tock with my heart.
thus the curious case of the alarm clock came to an end. So, what do you guys think Kuroshi was trying to say? Two culprits. Guy with nightly nightmares, and my translator. Oh! Oh, so she said it the entire time. Hold on, wait, I need to scroll back up. How far up can I go? No, I can't go back. I see. Sinclair and I sat there for a moment, absorbing the awkward silence.
Alright then. Who do I upgrade? I want to get more combos!
Oh, it's already day 30. Roshi, Shu. I guess Shu and Honglu. Shu, Lu. There, I guess.
Finally, the 30 days of lessons were completed and the day of the final exam was upon us. Everyone came out to bid good luck to Xia Shichun on her way to the final exam. My lady, I have nothing but absolute faith that you will be able to complete this final exam just as excellently as you have all the others. It is most likely you will be facing off against a skilled foe from the Shi or the Shi family. Of course, you will doubtless wipe the floor with them.
I have taught you all that I know. I hereby give you permission to leave this boot camp.
You got this, Shichun. Guys, you really didn't have to all come out here to come see me. What? You really didn't have to all come out here to see me off. Still, I have undying faith that you will emerge victorious, my lady. However, Zigong and I have also prepared about 21 alternative solutions in case things go awry. So please, don't worry yourself too much. Do you have faith in me or not? Upon our return to the classroom, we were greeted by an unexpected guest. Must be very nice to be Shichun, to have so many teachers from all walks of life helping her out. It had been a while since we last saw She Bao Chai, which was during the regular assembly. What are you doing here, big sis Bao Chai? I couldn't stop myself from paying you all a visit out of pity. If only Shichun and Bao Yu both smiled on like nothing happened. Our blossoming years would have been peaceful still. Big sis, please stop talking to me like that. I didn't know you could even say such a thing. Bao Yu, it has always been this way. If a fruit has fully ripened, we have to seize it and taste its juices before anyone else. We can't just let go. We can't stand emptiness. My brother couldn't. My parents couldn't. But you, who was born and raised on the very same soil we were, how do you walk so softly, so lightly? I don't. My footsteps are no longer light. Every step, every sight I hold in my eyes as the days go by fills me with abundance. I'm only trying to accept everything as it is, without asking for more or less. But how can one do nothing but watch when we're surrounded by such fragrance?
What more do you seek, big sis?
I want to be closer, then my hands may reach you. Have you already forgotten who had sent you that guest lecture?
Shichin's palanquin isn't headed to the exam site, is it?
No, it's not. It's heading to Big Sis Yuan-Shin's exam site.
Blasted scoundrels! I must hasten after the palanquin before I lose track of them. Wei sprinted outside before Xie Baochai finished. A trap, huh? Fellas, shouldn't we also get going?
Calm yourselves for a moment.
Zigong swiftly came between us, clearly having taken a gauge of the situation.
It has been too long since the palanquin has departed. It is fair to move based on concrete and evidence, not urgency.
Though a beast seems to have chosen the latter. I think I heard the faint sound of hooves coming from the direction Zigong was glancing in.
So this is what you've chosen. Yes, the exams she's taken thus far were all meaningless lies. I could have shared this earlier, but I decided to follow my own heart, as you have decided to follow yours. Baochai smiled sweetly. So now, what fragrance do you smell from me?
I smell nothing. Xue Baochai left the room wordlessly upon hearing that reply. We completed all of it. Holy crap. All that training. Holy crap. And it's only 1/3! Oh! Okay, I can't do this. I'm gonna take a break from this. Holy crap. Oh, I can't. Holy crap. So, I will continue this in the next part. This took so long. So, I'll see you next time. Bye bye.